Welcome back to our 40K book club. I am Decurio Iomhar, and today I'm joined by Decurio Chamlan. We will be reviewing The Iron Kingdom by Nick Kyme. Before we get into this, though, if you like what we do, please consider joining our Patreon. In addition to getting to see our episodes 2 days early, you also get access to some of our bonus content and a chance to vote on what topic we cover on our next lore cast. We also now have a Discord server free to all that wish to join our community. Links in the description below. Now, I noticed the other day that we are sitting at about 88% of our viewership not subscribed. If you are finding us for the first time and like what you see, please consider subscribing, giving us that privilege to let you know when our next episodes hit. If you are coming back to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, maybe now is the time. We would love to have you, and certainly it spurs me on to greater feats for future projects. So thank you in advance. With all that hullabaloo out of the way, Chamlin first. How have you been, man?
Yeah, uh, yeah. We'll get into it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a whole thing. This is just.
yeah. Cool.
Oh, wait,
What's up?
wait for it. All right, here's part two.
All right. I don't know if I get that.
Wait for it. All right, part three. Let's continue. Okay,
mm,
so
mm,
you'll understand.
okay. What did you think about the cover art? Would you add or subtract anything to it?
I want to do another wait for it bid, but it, yeah,
I,
coffee comes in threes. Let's see here. What did I write? This is okay. So you take a look at this. One, Queen Orla. I call her Orla. That's probably not how to pronounce her name.
That's actually how you pronounce her name.
My God.
He did it. I'm
Okay.
so proud.
Uh, okay. So you see Queen Orla as like this centerpiece, which is true, even though she's not a good character,
Mm-mm,
honestly.
mm-mm.
Um, and then around you see the Oblivion Knight. Fine. I thought that this was a Dark Angel for a second,
Yeah.
which I was excited for because I was like, cool, Dark Angels are cool.
Yeah, they are.
And then I found out that they're just more Black Templars, and then I was
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Because that's lame.
Morgan's pretty cool, though.
Meh.
Okay. Okay. We'll get into that.
And then you see what I assume is the Navy ship.
It would be the Fell Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which one, I'm sure you were just tickled pink about that ship name.
I was, yeah.
Two, such a stupid ending, but that's leagues away.
Yeah,
Uh, then
yeah,
you see the moon, which at first I'm like, why is this moon on here? And then finally, like a third into the book, you find out, oh yeah, the Templars are on the moon. So I
yeah,
guess there's a reason that it's like
yeah.
whatever. And then you've got random Chaos Space Marines, which Red Corsairs are not recognizable, really.
Yeah, I do know that the one in the front is
I just mean like chapter icono or warband iconography. They're not really that. They're, like I can't look at this and be like, oh, they're Red Corsairs.
yeah. I just like, were you able to, like, figure out which ones are which, though? I
I only know the one because he has horns.
Yeah,
And I think the one to his left is their apothecary.
no, that's
Oh,
Rathan.
that's his brother, his lame wad brother.
Yeah, the one that keeps losing himself to
Yeah,
the
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
got it. Yeah, well, the only reason I know that this one is the leader is because he has horns. But, like, again, I look at this and I'm like, "More word bearers?"
Yeah, they don't really sell on the iconography to identify, like, that they're Black
The issue
Corsairs.
is that the Red
Red
Corsairs.
Corsairs, that's
The
right,
issue is
yeah.
that, like, because the moonlight is playing off the color of their armor, they don't look red, they look purple.
Yeah.
So that was bad.
Shading could have been better at the lower half. Yeah.
But, like, overall, I mean, like, what it the only thing this is telling me about this book is, the only thing this is telling me about this book is, if I didn't know, like, one, Queen Orla does not there's no knight. Why is there no knight on the front of this book?
Exactly.
Seriously, this is a book about knights. Not only that, but the bandits aren't here either.
Yeah.
Where are they? Why do I not see what this planet looks like?
Mhm.
Like, there's just a lot here that could have been used that isn't?
Yeah, no, I don't think the somber colors was the right choice. Like, making it too dark obviously didn't help with, like, the character art for the characters in the bottom.
There's too many characters here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, one, also, this war band is not as large a component of this book as they want you to think.
No, I mean, they represent the evil faction.
Nor the Black Templars.
Mhm,
They're here less than the Corsairs.
yeah.
Orla is consistent. The Oblivion Knight is more present, but like, where is what's her name? The trooper that I can't remember the name of.
Magda Kesh.
Yeah, where's Cash?
Point of order. All right, so I'm gonna tell you what notes I had, and then we're gonna collaborate and
Sure.
figure out what could have been subtracted and added.
Other than everything?
Okay, so I didn't really I mean, I had a problem with the color palette. I thought it was too somber, which we
I
already hit
mean, they
that.
have a funeral going on, so I get that.
Yeah, but the insipid need to include a Sister of Silence yet again, when her character, while indeed a more prevalent side character than the last time we see one on cover art, is still just exactly that, a side character. So why didn't they have Magda Kesh on this cover art? And the only thing that I can think to observe is that it's on book eight's cover art going forward, and you do actually see what she looks like finally, but only in, the position she finds herself in. So she like looks different anyway, which is a hullabaloo opportunity because if you're going to have the arguable main protagonist, if Magda Kesh, be in this novel and not have her on the cover art, that it was a mistake.
Why isn't Erica on this cover? Equia or whatever her name is. Equia?
Ecria. It would be Ecria if you're referring to
Yeah,
the
the Queen's assistant. Why
uh,
isn't she here?
Ecria. And interesting question. And a follow-up to that, the character reveal of it being augury is in the cover art of the future. I
Or what's his name? Al.
Well,
I know.
Albia and Ecria are the same person.
Yeah, I know.
That was that. Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, so like, I would contend like, take the sister off, put Magda in. Kesh needed to be on the cover art and she wasn't, and that was a waste. You have all the conflicting opponents, but if you ask me, a backdrop of Lariok and the bandits at the bottom on the right side, yeah.
The knights should have been the bottom of this cut.
Frankly, most of the cover should have been Imperial Knight,
Well,
Renegade Knight
like,
art.
even just if you get rid of this bottom third and you would have put knights here,
Yeah.
would have been great. Where's the bean counter?
Oh, okay. I have to see her name. I know how to pronounce Ariadne.
Where's she?
Yeah.
She's
Um.
nearly more a component of this thing, Cash.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
She could have been
I
here.
understand why she
She
wasn't.
could have been here instead of this Black Templar, is all I'm saying.
Well, Morrigan does progress the story further in so much as the Red Corsair villain character does. But again, they're side characters, and Ariadne was indeed a side character.
She was as important as Cashin.
No,
Where's Elgin?
once again a side character, and I argue that no, Kesh is definitely the main protagonist of this novel just by the themes alone. But it is worth noting for the sake of just clarification that Ariadne went through the same exact things that Kesh did, but in a different setting.
Yeah.
But the themes were exactly the same, but they were redundant. That's the problem.
Or the Marine Malevolent, whatever his name is.
Reynard.
Yeah, where's that guy?
I would have liked to see cover art of him as much as I despised his character. But we'll get into that diatribe.
Either way, so the long and short of it, I feel like that we're both on the same page of like 2/3 of this could have been changed and it would have been
Mhm.
much better. Like I don't feel bad about Orla being the centerpiece
Y-
of this cover.
Especially looking imperious, which is kind of like her whole character.
Right. The golden armor is a bit ostentatious, but she's an ostentatious character.
Yeah, very much so.
But yeah, like a 2/3 of this is not is I'm not gonna say wasted, but it could have been used better.
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
It does not this cover does not sell me on the true contents of this.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. What were your expectations about the book before you read it, and did it meet those expectations?
Let's see here. It says I wrote down. I'm not entirely certain. I guess we'll see some subtle worm tongue thing going on,
Yeah,
which we kind of did.
kind of, yeah.
I One thing I'm confused about is, do you think that Ecrio was always Albia, or were they killed at some point in the novel?
Oh, I actually have the answer to that question because I
Okay.
had to look it up and cross-reference some stuff. They never existed, is the short answer. Augury is, in addition to being a hand of Abaddon, a powerful psyker that has the ability to
I
illusionarily.
understand that. I just mean,
Ecria never existed.
okay, there's the answer.
Ecria and Albion never existed. They were
Well, I mean,
both.
Albia is a facade. Ecria is also a facade.
That is
I
correct.
get that. They just were not their own character and they weren't killed.
Yeah,
Fine.
they weren't killed off screen,
Which,
no.
okay, so yeah, we do get some subtle worm tongue. And then the inevitable, you'll kill the planet, and well, that's the Imperium, which we don't get.
Mm,
Which is there's a strong rant that I'm gonna have about this ending because I think it's weak. It's such a weak ending. But like, and we don't need to get into it right now because
yeah.
it's later. But like this, I this overall overall this book made me feel for knights as I feel for space wolves, and that I do not feel like looking more into them because they seem really lame because of this book.
That is an unfortunate take, but I do get it. Um,
Like, so lame.
I
And Gulman's Imperium is weak if he allows this kind of stuff to stand.
I you know, I know that they were not deciding to destroy the world in its entirety, which is usually what the Imperium does with this sort of thing.
I'm not even say like exterminate. That's too far. They want the resources, but like the ending is so tepid that it's like
Yeah, no,
I'll get into it.
the whole conflicting egos thing, and then the misalignment of grief and emotion, and followed by the insidiousness of chaos is kind of like its own, cup of tea for some people. I personally love when chaos does shit like this, just because like it shows exactly like how they function and like what their MO is and why they're such a triple threat to the Imperium and humanity as a species. But yeah, we'll get into that. For my part, I expected Imperial night battles and feudal intrigue when going into this novel. Uh, it frustrated me in certain parts, but my expectations were met.
There could have been some more politicking, I guess, but the issue is the setup of the planet had reached the point because of the second long night that the queen was already in charge.
Uh
It
huh.
wasn't a council anymore, which is like, okay, so I gotta make I'm gonna lay this down to make sure that I understood what the issue was.
Okay.
So, all right, I just want to make sure I understand. So the issue between Layrock and the Queen, um, the Sister opens and the
Hmm.
world gets invaded by orcs, among many other things. But orcs is the thing that sets this off,
Yeah.
and it's like because it's one of the first things that happens. The Queen, on who is not technically like queen of the she's not the ruling singular person. She just is elected queen because she has a king at this point. If I'm understanding, just
Yeah.
just run with it. She's queen, but only in name, not in authority. She doesn't have iron fist over the entirety of the rest of the family.
Mm,
Um, because there's a council, but because the orc invasion, because there's no talking to the Imperium, she just says, "Well, at this point, there needs to be one singular person in charge of these resources. So I'm the queen. I'm in charge." Um, Layrock was fighting off an orc invasion on his lands
mhm,
and had asked for aid, but they were too far out from the main province, and the queen would not spare those resources because they were also getting invaded.
mhm.
And Layrock ran off. Well, I say ran off. He retreated because he didn't want his lands to get overrun and all the people to die.
Yeah.
It was a dishonorable act for honorable reasons. So whatever. And they left with the eight that or the seven others that became bandits.
Yeah.
And the queen took issue with that because she viewed it as a dishonorable act, regardless of them not responding with resources that they didn't have.
Mhm.
Blah, blah, blah. And all of this, all of this anger and whatever, all of this indignation was orchestrated by chaos for like a decade. Whatever, sure. Was orchestrated by chaos for a decade to stir animosity between Larak and the Queen. That way, chaos could get some knights. Do I have the general gist?
Yes and no.
Also, did chaos kill the king?
It
I
was
was
him.
picking up that vibe.
So the king was the actual Kamodar. The queen's not even like by birth of the Kamodarian line, but since she was the one that left, she did take over and amass a centralized power base. So in that you got right. The main point of contention for Lariok and his bandit knights is, as you have mentioned, they were left high and dry when they were simply trying to defend their people, and when they did the logical strategic withdrawal, it was seen as cowardice, and she branded him dishonorable. And then a compound issue that Lariok had with her not being, the actual real ruler, uh, in addition to being called a dishonorable cur, kind of took him over the edge.
Well, I don't even think like if I understand it right, it wasn't even that she was like whatever, you're queen, fine. It was that like I am now the person in charge rather than the council is in
So,
charge.
so from what I understand, at least how the Iron Protectorate did things prior to the centralization of power under House Kamodar, was there was in fact a council of nobles. And while the planet itself was called Kamodar and the Kamodarians were the lead house for generations, there was interceding moments where there were other houses that were in charge.
Yeah, essentially they're like the king and the queen are always like the quote imperial governor quote. They're the people that
Yeah,
talk to the imperium,
yeah.
but they have their power is not like they have more sway in the council, but they have a council that they do need to listen to.
Yeah, I'm thinking House Sundar may have been in charge at one point, and that what led to further animosity. And like you mentioned, there was chaos involvement. But to answer one of the questions that you posed, the king of Kamodar was killed during the Orc Wars.
Okay, I thought that it implied like he got sick or something.
Well, yeah, he fought, got sick, and he died. But he
Right, that's why I was like, okay, so chaos got him sick
maybe,
because it's a
but it was
noble.
during the Orc conflict.
Right, I get that. It was early on. I was like, okay, so chaos got him sick because they've been planning this for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the impression I got, and to be honest, like, you're not that far off, like, from what the general gist is. Like in almost anything, though, it may be just an oversimplification, but at the end of the day, like, what we're dealing with is compounded grief tied with an imperious and arrogant attitude that is indicative of, most Imperial Knight
Okay,
characters.
roll back into what our actual question was that I went off on this tangent for.
Okay, say it again.
What was the question that we were talking about?
Oh, I think we were still on the expectation part.
Oh, we were talking about feudal intrigue. Well,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
this point, we
yeah.
can't have feudal intrigue because she's the Iron Fist.
Yeah, I still think there was because there was like a again, I recognize that Lariok's character
If
was
Valeriak wasn't bandits and they were just like uh I don't want to say disowned, but they were just like they were a house in repute and they were still in the capital, that'd be intrigue.
I would still call it a generalization of feudal intrigue because only in a feudal hierarchy would you have a disowned house not have a say in something. If this would have been like a normal planetary government, this and they would have been competing noble houses. He would have been in disfavor, but he still would have had his lands and titles. Therein lies the why I think it is uniquely a feudal intrigue, but that is more splitting hairs on a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
generalization.
I I mean you got a bit of what you wanted.
I did.
There were a
I
lot of knights battles, but
Again, like, Imperial Knights either do it for you or they don't. They're like, space battles,
the issue is
frankly.
the issue is that they keep saying like walking gods, and I'm like, "Man, you are not making these things cool by just repeatedly saying they're walking gods."
There were bits where even the Astartes were not able to handle it, not
Well, I don't expect the stars to be able to handle a mini Titan, but it doesn't make them walking gods.
again, this that plays into, like, the personality quirks of Imperial Knights. Like, if you know a little bit about the l more, I should say, because I know you know, but, like, a little bit more about their lore is, like, when they jack in to these machines,
Mhm.
it messes with their brain chemistry, and they start thinking like
Yeah, if we got more of that, that would have been cool, but we didn't.
we did. It was in the form of the feudal intrigue. The way that they behave and the way that they responded emotionally was indicative of those weird chemical things going on with
I'd
their
like
head.
to just seen some more talking ghosts, man.
That's cool. That's a
We're talking
fair
we're
way.
talking about different things. I
I
want Knights to be cooler. I would have liked to have seen more of the talking ghost bits,
I can con
other than
yeah,
being repeatedly told, "Oh, these are walking gods." It's like, cool. That's not making them cool. You're just telling me they're cool.
yeah. Okay, so we're gonna shift gears a little bit.
Right.
Let's try and find something we liked about this book.
Mhm.
So, what did we like best about the book? And then, of course, the follow-up question is, what did we like least?
Let's see here. I'm scrolling through my stuff for likes. Oh, okay. The issue one thing is that it's like immediately it's hindered in its execution,
Uh,
but the feast heel turn, beautiful moment in the book. Awesome. Fuck it, that was great. It was great. The end of that turn is lame. So lame.
I,
Because they wharf Custodes. Like at this point, I'm like, okay, so anytime a Custodes shows up, they're not going to be cool. They're going to get wharfed.
they turned las cannons on him. I mean, there reaches a point, but I I agree. I'm pointing out a simple fact.
I get that he got killed. That's fine, but he didn't do anything.
He couldn't. He got cut
You
down.
have to make God bleed. Otherwise, they're just an untenable threat.
Mm.
And I know that in the next scene, they're like, oh, she got a neck burn from her refractor field turning on. That's lame. For one, you have to make look, we both seen 300.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, listeners, at least go see the first one. The second one's horrific.
Oh, it's not good.
And don't read it either because it's not well paneled in my personal opinion. But
No, it's not.
that's a separate discussion.
I mean, like, you're
Either way,
spitting facts.
you
It's
have
just
you have to make God bleed.
yes.
If he
Mm.
I don't care that the Custodes died. It's lame that he died
Oh, yeah.
immediately. It's the problem is that he died doing nothing. And then the Oblivion Knight nearly gets her arm blown off entirely doing nothing. He should have at least been able to throw his guardian spear and like cut her cheek
I I
because it's a refractor field and it will work against melee. It won't work against melee weapons. It's a refractor field.
I agree. I don't know. Like, my whole thing is, and maybe we talked about this very briefly before this cast. A custodian guard, one of the most powerful fighters in the Imperium, and a character who has been confirmed to have been around since the heresy, should have tore that chamber a new butthole before dying. He was going to die. They had him dead to rights, but he should have tore them in half in the process. And the fact that they wharfed him upsets me greatly as
It's
well.
just like, okay, but to bring it back to the thing that I like, that turn, that like, actually, I'm here to kill all of you. That was great. Well executed. The ending was stupid.
Oh yeah.
Another thing I really liked, we disagree on this. I really liked the Marines Malevolent. Out of this book, I don't care about the Knights. They're lame. The Marines Malevolent, they're pretty cool.
I have a diatribe, don't worry.
Like their strike team, just like General Shermaning this planet, I was all for it. I was like, cool. I hate this woman. She's stupid and pretty lame.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, burn this place to the ground. I don't care. I liked it. The issue is that he was right. He was entirely like they explained the Marine Malevolent mindset, just like, no, we're just practical, man. We're here to win a war. We don't
Yeah,
really
I so he's bringing up something that I am going to have an entire diatribe on when we get to it.
And they try.
And I wanted to let it be known that, like, don't like his character, but it has to do with personal reasons.
But
Moving on though, yeah.
like, and his point is just like, you guys are making this to be more than it is.
Mhm,
We're super soldiers.
mhm.
We're here to win a war. It doesn't matter if we're like supposed to be the shields of humanity. Humanity has to earn the shield, and they're not. So we're here to kill them. And that's it. That is the end of the statement, and that's what he does. And then like Odin's like, "You're dishonorable. You killed civilians," and it's like, I don't care, bro. I would have killed you if I thought that I could have gotten away with it quickly.
It's like, you're not injured to the point where you're not useful. Therein lies the rub.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't mind the Marines Malavant, that to be clear. It's just I didn't like Reynard as a character because he reminded me of me. Um,
Well, either way, like his character was fine.
yeah,
His march across Camidor was cool.
I agree. And if I'd have been Artemis in that position, I would have done the same thing. I would have sent him and his unit, but I wouldn't have sent the
Yeah,
sisters.
Artemis was.
I would have kept the sisters on the ship.
I mean, that wouldn't have helped because Chaos apparently just walked in with plot armor and nobody did anything to do anything to stop. Tell me one thing Chaos lost in this book.
I'm thinking, give me a second. Nothing. Once again, Abaddon and his hands doing stupid shit with nonsensical reasons and one-upping the Imperium yet again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's lame.
I don't
That
like
goes into my diatribe about the ending here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Okay, so, real quick before I go on to my 2
well,
cents.
there's one more thing that I did.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did like that they foreshadow. Ekria didn't strike me as odd right up until like the scene before their term, and she's like, "Oh, okay, they're doing this." Because there was a couple in there that was like, "Is it you that's gonna be weird? Is it you that's gonna be weird?" And then Ekria like says some line, you're like, "Oh, she's the one that's gonna be weird."
Mhm.
Gotcha. But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah.
So, you've kind of already alluded to some of the things that you liked least or just didn't like in general.
Let's make sure I covered them all.
Yeah, because this is
Uh,
the section for it.
we literally we fucking did Star Wars again.
Yeah?
Albia and Layrock,
Ugh,
Emperor and Darth Vader.
stew it.
Seriously, like,
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, we're just doing Star Wars again? You can't come up with an original thought?
I
It's like, I hate you. It's like,
I have
cool, bro.
I have cont contingency
It's so
for
lame.
that specific scene because it reminded me of the "No."
It's so stupid. One, because Layrock, if a person falls to chaos because of their own stupidity, that's not an engaging character.
I don't care for that either.
Like, I was like, he's just mad, which is fine. And then somebody in the background's like, you're on the glorious path now. It's like, dude, shut up. This dude doesn't comprehend what happened. And it's not even like, I've lost my soul now. I'm so sad. He literally doesn't understand what is going on? Like Ying, as much as I dislike that character, she knew what she was choosing. She made that choice willingly, and
Yeah.
she will cut a blazing path through whatever she needs to keep what power she is given. That is a I don't like that character, but you can respect the fall. And then you've
Yeah.
got Tubby McTubson, who didn't know what he was doing,
Yeah.
and then you've got Larock, who did not understand what was going on. So Chaos just literally gains 7 nights for free,
Yeah.
and they didn't know what was going on. And this is why you don't worship old gods.
Yeah.
The moment that you were like, "Oh, well, yeah, sure, it's an old Earth god. Yeah, sure." Then you're daubing yourself with weird poultices and you're drinking blood, and suddenly you're Nurgle melting into a knight's cockpit, I guess, is where I thought they were gonna go with that. I thought he was like gonna like juice himself bodily and become like a fish tank or something. But they didn't go cool with that. No, he's just like really hot and sweaty in this cockpit.
Yeah, so it's corn. You did
The
it's
Knights of Ren are corn, they're not Nurgle?
they're corn.
Really?
Yeah,
Because the earth and the daubing and the
corn,
really?
because he loses his temper more as he progresses.
That's so disgustingly stupid. I could have respected Nurgle. You can't just tell me it's corn and go with all this earth and horns and
Well, therein lies the insidiousness of chaos, I
that's not
guess.
insidious, that's just stupid.
I I disagree, but,
Let's see here.
what else we got?
I thought it was a Nurgle cult. They never tell me it's a corn cult.
Um, yeah, no, Hearn is a very, very old god from actual real world,
Yeah, that I'm not surprised about.
and it's basically a combination of a war god and as is the case for most, pagan and or Celtic gods and goddesses, a war god in addition to being a god of nature of some sort of niche thing.
See, the nature thing, that's what I picked up on. I'm like, okay, so it's like a Nurgle call. They're gonna get Nurgle Knights. Because
Yeah.
the, Plague War coming out, that kind of vibe. Did not get Cornade out of that at all.
I was kind of on the fence as well, but then when I started seeing that, like, he was giving into his anger more, I was like, "This is corn." And then I confirmed it, on, the official website where one of the websites where they actually discuss in
Mm,
detail and actually have, references to, like, "Oh, so they use this god, and this god is indeed a war god." So
okay. Um, they give you an info dump on the planet and its topography and geography twice.
yeah.
I didn't need it twice. I really didn't need it the once, honestly.
One could, surmise based off of, the peasants tilling the land and having their abundance taken away that it was a somewhat foresty green, world.
Or when Lerod's like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the hills, that way we don't all die."
Yeah,
You can figure out that there are some hills.
yeah,
Weird.
don't need much more than that. Yeah,
Yeah, you could just tell me through the story instead of get like it's this is not a role playing game. You do not need to tell me the topography of the planet
it's
more than one
it's a gripe I have with Nick Kyme at a later time in this
because
game.
he's constantly talking about the
There
topography of
are cer
planets.
there are I will get into it. I don't wanna it's further in. Needless to say, I'm not a Nick Kyme fan. Um, for my part, I like the set pieces the best, I think. Imperial Knights fighting and just their aesthetic really gets my blood pumping. I really like Imperial Knights. I absolutely hated the Queen of Kamodar, and most of her court, and just in general how she viewed things. I have a hard time piecing together the steps that led to such ignorance, but that is something we can talk about as I did manage to figure
It's,
out most of the setup.
it's the Gorget.
Yeah,
That's
kinda,
it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's no, that's literally it. It's the Gorget because it's Noctilude that it amplified her negative emotions.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it.
Alright, alright.
The Admech dude picks it up at the end. He's like, "This can't be Noctilude. Oh well, let's stuff it in my pocket anyways."
I didn't pick up on
No,
that.
it was the Gorget. The Gorget, and that amplified her negative emotions to the point where she just made dumbass decisions.
Fascinating.
It
I
I
knew
don't
there
know, I find it really stupidly simple.
oh, no.
Not enough
I
your part, just like
no, 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 I know you weren't digging. I knew there was something about it. I
it was a black stone Gorget. I'm like, "Oh, it's Noctilith." Anything that's described as black and stone, it's Noctilith. And they turned it and they tuned it to amplify emotion rather than negate emotion. So it cranked her into a swirl of frenzy, which is why she could never calm down, which is why when it was off her and she was back in the night, she's like, "Oh, I'll have an honorable death," as I slowly bleed out my cockpit like I just a series of
yeah, yeah,
stupid
there's no way that her soul is not being tormented in the warp right now.
like, I don't care.
I do. That bitch deserved it. There reaches a point where, we'll get into it.
I don't care what happened to this woman.
I did not care for her as a character.
The issue is that towards the end of it, like her disagreement with Lyra is just like, yeah, but you acted traitorously. You are both bad people, and you deserve bad things happening to you because you both did traitorous
I just like you
things.
see the meme where the office meme where what's her face is like
Yeah,
this is the
totally.
same. It'd have a picture of Lariok and a picture of the queen,
Like
and you're just like, which one's the
you
traitor?
see the general looking at him like,
So which one's which
they're
one's the
both
traitor? They're both traitors.
same.
I want to say Reynard just because it's funny. It's like Reynard, which one's the traitor? They're both traitors
Because they are.
because they are.
They both
One
acted traitorously. They both deserve to die.
cool. All right, who is your favorite character and why?
My actual favorite character, the bean counter. She
Yeah.
was the only person who had any amount of sanity in her head.
Noiva Ariadne.
Yeah, I was never gonna remember that. I just know it's the bean counter.
Yeah, Ariadne is a Greek name.
Yeah,
That one's fair.
okay. Yeah,
But
I liked her.
I knew you were gonna like her, by the way.
She had a straight head on her shoulders, but she wasn't like a dick. She's just like, "No, this is not a good idea, and we probably shouldn't be doing it." And it's like, "Okay, I guess I opened my mouth. I walked into this one, got it." And then she was at least like, "Shut up. Like, just stop talking. Like, just sit down and be quiet." To the dude that was like, "Well, I can't bang you, so I'll just annoy you for the rest of your life."
Yeah, that dude was really fucking gross.
I was hoping that he died,
I
and then he
re
didn't die.
and what's worse is he fucking stirred the pot in the end, and that was just
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
but to her credit, Ariadne had the knife in her hand, and she was like, "I'm gonna stab him," and then she immediately took a step back, and I'm like, "Oh, that will just make things worse."
See, I'm surprised that the ganger wasn't just like,
Pop.
"Freebie." What kind of freebie? I don't like 'em either.
God, no, but I do like that she is rewarded for her good turns. As a redundant as a character as I think she was in this novel, I still give props to Nick Kyme for making it like all that darkness and all that weird, unfortunate turn of events happening. There being like a little nugget of like, this is how we're gonna get through it. I thought that was pretty well executed.
Yeah,
The like,
well, she's the stand-in for, like, a sane person, basically.
yeah,
It's just like, why did like, this is just gonna end badly. You understand that, right?
yeah.
You don't? Great, okay, it's just gonna end badly. I'm gonna be right, and it's still gonna end badly, and then it does, it's like, "Okay, I guess we gotta handle it this way." But um, I think Leonidas, if he read this book, he would find a lot, to like in.
Yeah, it would be a toss off between Magdakesh and Noiva Ariadne, I think, for like Leonidas. I agree. Um,
Now as for Cash, like, we kinda like, she didn't do anything different than she did before. She's already in the shit, and she just went through more shit. It would have been more interesting for Theodore to have survived and then have to, like, keep Theodore alive while also doing other shit.
Not gonna lie, that hurt me.
I was just like, "Oh, cool, Kesha's gonna get a never mind."
As soon as Diablo died, I'm like, oh no,
It's like,
not one of the founding four.
it's like, "Come on." Like, we coulda just had, like, and it would have been good too because he could have been, like, writing the stuff down.
God, he was so competent of a historiator. That's why it was upsetting. Like I liked his character because he got it, and he didn't have like a moroseness to him. He was just like a guy.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh,
um,
cool, Kesha's gonna get a little boyfriend. That's not never mind. Never
uh,
mind."
God, I didn't like that. I did not like that. But
I
real quick, is there any characters that you disliked?
No, other than the majority of the rest of the characters?
This was a
What? Like,
this was a Russian roulette shit show right here.
well, I was just like, nobody else is really that like I like Raymer because, like, I can appreciate his mentality. Um, None of the Black Crusaders did it for me. Because the whole, like, penance, wrap my nether regions in chains and pull as hard as I can does not do it for me. Don't tell me they didn't.
I can't confirm nor deny that they did, but that is like a bit of a leap, maybe.
No,
Because like,
the dude literally grabbed chains around his forearm so tight they cracked.
he was using change to whip
No, in the
himself.
first scene, he's grabbing the chains, he wraps the chains around his hands and pulls his fists so tight they break
Yeah.
as penance.
And pray tell, how does that immediately go to like assaulting one's nads?
Because they can't use them anyways. So it's effluent stuff.
Not your strongest. Not your strongest.
I don't care about the penance thing.
That's cool. I don't like Black Templars and how they do things
Okay,
either,
and then
but
we get to the Corsairs, I'm like, I see the word Corsairs, I'm like, "Oh, cool, get some Eldari stuff." Like, no, they're the lame ones because they are quite possibly one of the most bland war bands that exist.
that is a very niche opinion.
I don't care. They're just like, okay, because like, cool. It's like we're pirates. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever. You're pirates, space marines.
yarg.
Cool, whatever. Um, and then his brother is not interesting at all, and, like, the issue is that, like, the whole end of this stupid subplot line is, we got a short of, the fame." It's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that's gonna be keep being a thing,
I
buddy.
know, but it's lame!
Yeah, it accumulates, and he's gonna be showing up again in later novels.
Great, cool, he's still lame. He'll always be lame.
I don't care for him
I
either.
would have at
Yeah.
least liked one of them to die, which we know none of them do.
Yeah,
I don't care about yet, I care about this book.
I man, like when you're going in, was this book 5 at this point?
Yeah, nothing happened in this book.
I
Think
this is a grievance I have, and this is a grievance that I know you have as well. When we're doing like a series and we're getting into it and we're at book 5 and we have yet to see a major chaos character have a significant death or it looks like chaos is lost at any point in time, this is a failure of writing.
this is literally the Tenebris argument all over again.
Yeah, no, like
It's like
for sure.
nothing happens to them. They just get what they want and then they walk off the screen.
Yeah.
It's like, "Okay, cool."
I just
But, like,
this is definitely one of the problems that like Games Workshop and by extension Black Library has with maintaining continuity of like the grimdark genre of setting, but also like trying to keep things level, like a level playing field.
but that's not even, like, the entirety of all the stuff to dislike about the rest of the people in this book.
Yeah,
Like, that's 2 facets of this thing.
yeah,
Let's go over the factions of this thing or in the dramatis personae.
yeah.
The Imperial Navy. One, I don't like the Navy portions of the story. I know, and that's not a fair paint to brush with, but Artemis is stupid. He's stupid throughout the entire thing. His second in command is all right, I guess. They tell me he's all right a lot, so I guess he is. The third in command is Milksop, and how he survived this long in the Imperial Navy is a surprise. But he's the reason why the ending sucks so hard.
Yeah,
Let's see here. The Logos Historica, well, he dies, so who cares? The Talons, well, he dies, so who cares? And she is alive. Cool, I guess.
she lived, bitch.
Great, fine. She still didn't do anything.
Exactly.
She existed. She's a fine character. I'm not gonna say I disliked her. She
I
didn't do anything.
I like her character because she is not like many of her other sisters.
Oh, Astartes. Ogun's fine, I guess.
I mean, he's as White Scar can White Scar.
He's way too in his own head. Well, he's a Storm Reaper, thank you.
Well, but he acts like a White
I
Scar.
mean, I think they're all White Star derivative chap.
They are as yes, yeah,
Let's see here. Reynard. I like his character. Ventar. I forgot that they even had other names. Marines Malevolence.
same here.
Militarum. Let's see here. Oregon went out like a punk.
Yeah, not happy.
Like a punk.
Not happy about that death.
Kesh, she's not a bad character. She's just like, all right. She's just one of those reluctant,
Yes.
she's a reluctant facet of the Emperor's will, which is you read enough of these books, and you're like, okay, cool. This is gonna be your character arc. Got it. Um,
Yeet and yeet, and to your credit, right on the nose.
yeah. Vargo, awesome character. Actually, I really do like Vargo. Reading his there, I was like, oh yeah, he's the ganger dude. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
I like you think like, oh, you're gonna be the heel, aren't you? Like, no, he's cool. He's cool. He's
Ah,
cool.
he's like, well, I mean, Ariadne had her hand in his guts and was basically saving his life. I'm like, and like he
But you think,
returns.
but you think he's gonna be the heel, but
Exactly.
he's not. He's cool. I was like,
No,
all right,
he's
got it,
cool.
got
He's
it.
cool. Yeah.
Arden, awesome, useless. I wish he died.
Mm-hmm.
Messinus, he was there.
Asinius, yeah.
He should have stepped in and been like, no, we're actually gonna take care of this for you.
You know,
Um,
Messinius definitely should have. Like, as soon as like he saw Artemis backpedaling and like skirting around the issue,
the moment
I would have been like, yeah, no, I'm
the
coming in.
moment anything popped up on comms, I'm like, oh, we've got a weird tanker that reappeared like months after it disappeared. No,
That's some
we're
shady
not
shit.
doing that.
What are we doing?
Nuke it. I don't care if the
Nuke it.
captain's there. I don't care if the captain's there. Nuke it. Right?
Yeah, that was like
That was
that was dumb as hell.
yeah.
I just like I've been Artemis. I've been like, wait, I know for a fact that this went missing 3 months ago. Nuke it.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, but sir, the captain, I don't
I don't
care.
care. Nuke it.
They're we don't have time to figure out if they're okay. I don't care. That's very sad. Nuke it.
Wait,
Um,
you lost a valuable piece of hardware in the Fell Lord because of that
right,
stupidity.
yeah. Okay, the nobles. Orla, stupid. Ikamidar, I I have no idea who that is.
Oh,
Oh,
I
that's a last name. That's not a character.
yeah,
Baron Gren, not bad, but not good.
yeah,
Baron Decor, he was cool for the time that he was alive.
Bayard, yeah, Bayard was cool.
I wish he would have survived and Garen died. I feel like that would have. I kind of got this vibe that like I always get this vibe of like queen characters and their protectors, but like kind of got a vibe that there was like a whole consorty thing going
I'm not
on.
sure if Bayard went down like that.
I don't know.
I know
But like I kind of got the slight vibe of like, well, you don't have a king, and I'm not asking to be king, but like queen's a queen and they're gonna queen, right?
yeah. I well, once again, I think that does confirm the fact that she wasn't actually Kamadar born. She was just married into the
I
house.
don't necessarily like. I'm not making any implications.
Right, but, like, when you
I
deal
don't think
with,
it's weird for a noble line to have consorts.
so true, but usually in medieval history, you would run into, like, queen regents, like what her character was,
Yeah,
and they would certainly have a consort, but they would never remarry. So in that regard, you're not far off,
I wouldn't ever expect her to
like, Bayard would have no
but I got like
no
the
chance.
barest hints of vibe of like, are you like the queen's consort on the down low or something? Is that what we're doing here?
I think it was a subtle thing, if it were.
Sir Sheen, I don't know. I don't know. Banfort, Antius, Ganavine.
Yeah,
I don't know these people.
yeah.
Um, Servants, Gadamine. I think
Gadamine was the captain of the guard.
right. I know, but
Yeah.
like, what did he do?
He was instrumental in fucking up so hard that Kesh was able to get the message out
Oh,
3/4 of the
okay,
way
he's
through.
that guy. Gotcha. Ekria, I mean, like, she was a good worm tongue. I'll give her that.
Yeah,
Thonius, that dude, who gives? Who cares?
yeah.
Athonian, again, who cares about this guy? Bandits, Layrock is too stupid for his own good.
Yeah,
And then the rest of the knights, who cares? They don't have
I
personality.
was upset when Parnius died, though.
Those who are oaths, I get wicked. We went through them. Who cares about Albia? He's whatever. And then I don't care about the Red Corsairs.
Yeah, moving on. Um,
So the only other character I liked is the gang.
cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, like, put this out here, so we can get mine and then we can move on because it was a tie for me for favorite characters between Magdakesh and Nyova Ariadne. But these ladies were strong characters with strengths and weaknesses that humanized them, and it helped me relate to them and the situations they found themselves in, which is why I loved them so much.
Yeah, they're solid characters.
Solid characters, they are redundant, but again, we'll get into that.
Justice for Nala.
Justice for Nora. My least liked, and I dare say disliked, character was the Queen. I Man, no amount of ignorance pouring from her being was only matched by her grief, unfortunately.
Well,
Um,
yeah. Does it change anything for you under the auspicion of now realizing that because the Gorgot was Noctilith, it was frying our emotions?
no.
Okay.
And
It doesn't have to. I was just scared.
this is, and I'll tell you why. Effective leaders don't get emotional.
Right, but the Gorgot was making her emotional.
And this story is a great explanation as to why this is the case. And while we can, do a whole MacGuffin of like, oh, well, this thing was tearing into her emotionally,
Honestly, I kind of wish it wasn't there.
I think I agree with you because it makes it more palpable.
Well, it becomes like a, oh, if only it weren't. It's like instead of just like, no, this is just how she is.
This is okay. So, like, grief is a real thing, and I'm not trying to undercut it or undersell it. So, believe me when I tell you, dear viewership, and of course, you, Chamlin, I genuinely thought that this woman was so involved and enveloped with her grief over the loss of her daughter that she was not thinking straight. And to and then finding out it was the Noctilith Gorget fucking upsets me.
Right.
It makes it worse.
It really takes the wind out of the
It
whole book,
makes
doesn't
it
it?
worse.
Right, it takes the wind out of it because you're like, "Oh, okay, so she actually wasn't
Yeah.
just angry all the time. She was just manipulating."
God, I hate that.
Which doesn't that feed in so disparagingly into the predate of, like, emotional woman leader?
Don't yeah, that's the other thing too.
Right? Isn't that so bad?
'Cause I ha listen, I
Better or worse for it to have acted this way with or without the Gorget?
oh, with the Gorget, it just makes it worse.
Well, with the Gorget, it's like, "Oh, well, we're not going into stereotypes. She was manipulated by this item, by chaos."
Yeah, but see, I
Instead of her just being like, "Well, no, she's just a human and she's a noble, so she's allowed to get away with this stuff," and she
yeah, she was
way too many steps way too far.
she was somebody who should have been removed from power long ago because of emotional instability, and the fact that she wasn't was a failure of her own court,
Well, it
more than it
wasn't
was like a failure of herself.
the bigger issue is just like, well, yeah, this chick's messed up a lot of places. Like, okay.
Yeah,
But like putting it on to be like, oh, actually, this is not the Gorget. It's like,
this is cheap, I don't like it.
well,
Like,
yeah,
I
it's
don't
like you did not need that did not need to be in the book.
it didn't need to be in the book.
I'm a little sad that I've taken this from you, but like also again, there's a lot in this book that's just like,
There
oh,
is, but more to my point though, there is a reason why you do not utilize emotional response or personal emotional feelings in politics. Like you're supposed to separate the two. And this is a prime example of what happens when you let emotions dictate your leadership
well,
choices.
also it doesn't like
It
it
does.
belittles Ekria.
I wasn't going to say that. No, I think it belittles the queen. Frankly,
Well, I mean,
yeah. I
I
mean all the things,
it
but like,
depends on how you want to view it. If you view it as this woman needed a Noctilith Gorget to be taken down,
yeah.
but
Well,
also it belittles this hand of Abaddon where they
yeah.
had to be like, we had to put a Noctilith Gorget on it. Like, why aren't you actually manipulative? Aren't you good at your job?
She's supposed to be.
Well, apparently she's great with some random 2-bit bandit.
I mean, and anybody can be manipulated by chaos with the right ingredients.
Yeah,
And I guess the Gorget was the ingredient
and
here.
a helping hand in a warm bath.
Exactly. All right.
Dictatorship will never ever live that down in my mind.
It's
I will remember it forever as the stupidest thing that I've read out of
I
this.
still contend that the thing you said is like if Gav Thorpe would have write this, it would have made sense. He would have made it work.
Well, oh, because it would have been a lot more
It would have been more
it
sensual, I
would have
think.
been
But
a
like
lot more sensual.
I was like, wow, what
Man, where is Slanesh in these books? Do they show up at all?
cowards. The whole lot of them. Cowards.
Like, seriously, am I gonna get, like, where's
Don't hold your breath.
really?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is one Hand of Abaddon that is loosely
Well,
Slanesh
that yeah,
based.
we see the Power Rangers in the end of this book.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not gonna call them anything besides that. So, like, we see that, but, like, is there a Slanesh-focused book in this
Nope.
series? Seriously?
I think like
Is it because Yang's like, "I hate when I was Homar"?
I think if there is, it would be the one where they're what's it called? Sea of Storms.
Okay.
And even then, it is very lightly coded because the Games Workshop and Black Library have been pussyfooting around Slanesh for a while now.
Well, I mean, like,
They've been
I
backpedaling
don't
hard.
I don't even mind if they're like, "Well, we're not gonna do the overtly sexual stuff." It's like,
Yeah.
fine, but, like, give me honor. Give me the priestess of, like, yeah, all of my armor is silk lined because I like the way that it feels. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
In fact, arguably, it's worse. But I like the way that it feels, and that makes me move faster and way more fluently than you.
Yeah, if anybody
That's
knows about how silk and friction works, that's like the opposite of that.
r-
But no,
it's the
but that's the point.
idea.
That's the point of it, right? Because they would
All
they
my all my armor is daubed in sandpaper because I like the way that it feels on my crotch.
that also sounds Slanesh coded. But like,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
if you're doing silk underneath your armor, you might as well be wearing sandpaper.
Mm,
Um, but we're gonna
Give me my 50,000 thread count K-boy.
made out of human skin somehow. Yeah. Did any
It's thread made of human skin that's 50,000 pounds.
what?
I
I don't
said
know.
what I said.
I don't know. Chaos spaghetti.
It's a chaos loom. What do you expect?
uh, well, certainly not consistency in this fantastical story.
Uh,
Did any part of the book evoke a strong emotion in you?
um,
And it,
in actual, like not just being mad. Um, I had something noted. When the ganger, I don't know what his
yeah,
name. You know who I'm talking
yeah.
about. When the ganger was bleeding out. Um, or I think it was like there was a ganger that did die. Like he legit just died. And then she eventually went to help the ganger captain. That was sad.
Yeah, that moment with the sergeant where he's reaching out for comfort and she gives it was
Yeah,
very
and
very
then
tender.
Dick Knob McGee walks in, is like, "You need to go over there and do your job." I was like, "Shut! I, you should have just grabbed his pistol and shot him then and there." I've been like, "What are you gonna do? I'm in charge now. Fuck, screw you."
I mean, the moment that Artemis was confirmed dead, she was like, "And I have been set free."
More or less.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a
"Oh, cool. I'm getting reassigned. Awesome."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing where I was like, "Oh, this is actually like an emotional part of this book that lands
Okay,
well instead of as disappointing at the end of it."
right. So this is the one where I get into the diatribe.
Sure.
So, there was a little moment with Brother Captain Reynard of the Marines Malevin on the nature of war that really brought out some memories I rather not remember. Specifically, the bit where he discusses what it takes to end a war and what steps he would take to accomplish his goals. For those that aren't accustomed to such savagery, it should be noted that in war there are no good guys. I mean, this is a no nonsense thing to say, but it bears repeating.
Well, I mean, okay, let's be real here.
When it comes to the act of violence upon each other, there is no good guy.
Because occasionally you're committing acts of violence against Confederates or Nazis.
Listen, when it comes to humanity and the worst that we bring, there are no good guys. But let me go on. There are simply those that kill and those that get killed in war. It's as simple as that. Now, in this civilized era, and I use that with quotations, we have things like rules of engagement and the Geneva Convention prohibiting acts of barbarity, which are just and good, but ultimately don't end wars in a timely manner. What does end wars quickly is total war tactics or black flag tactics, they're sometimes called. Acts like destroying infrastructure, denying the enemy supplies, and making the will to fight within population centers cease to exist. You look at wars of our own history, that is to say, American history, like the American Civil War and Vietnam, and see prime examples of total war tactics ending our ability to fight very effectively. A good example, General Sherman's. He enacted total war tactics and he brought the Civil War to a close. Doing what he did, it ended the war. There were other things and other factors, but that was one of the main moving points. And the thing with Vietnam and the Viet Cong, they were outmaneuvering us and denying our supplies and our ability to have our own people in our homeland want us to fight the war. They were doing everything that you do in the art of war to end, as but an example. All of this is to say that I relate to Renyard and that I once thought as he did and indeed prosecuted my own duties while serving in a similar capacity in the United States military. All within the confines of international law, of course, I'm going to make that clear. I didn't like that aspect of myself back then, and I was painfully reminded of the man I used to be as a consequence of reading how he behaved, what was his war ethos essentially. And it rubbed me wrong, which is why I don't like him as a character, but that's because I don't like who I was when I was in the military versus who I am now. Um Diatribe done. Anything to add to that?
This book didn't do a single thing to make me think the Marines Malevolent were wrong in the literal 40K universe.
And therein lies the rub, because you are absolutely right.
Because
When
because they're not wrong. It's like, yeah, you guys are treating this as like an exercise in poetry, and you're not.
Waxing philosophically in war is so stupid. It is it's cute that there are people out there that romanticize war like that, but having experienced it personally, I call bullshit. I call it hard. But I will not sit here and continue to besmirch people who think otherwise. Just understand that for me, this character struck a chord, and it was not a good chord. It wasn't a good memory for me. But I think that's a good segue point for us to move on to the next thing, which is, as you would expect, themes. What themes stood out to you in this book, and how well do you think the author explored these themes, if you had any that you could see?
Humans love making stupid ass decisions.
Yeah,
That's real. Like this entire book is an exercise in what's the stupidest decision we can make at this point in time.
yeah,
Um, and like unf- I would disagree that it was the execution of it was told to me that it was done well, but it wasn't laid out to me well, and
hmm
that chaos is a subtle and insidious corruptive mistress. Largely because, again, we already talked a little bit about it. If there is literally no cost to you winning, it's not a book.
yes.
Uh,
Yeah, no, like, succinctly to the point, if I'm reading a 40K novel and it's always the Imperium that suffers and the Chaos faction never does, I do not care for it.
like I don't. Here's the thing. I don't mind if they don't lose as much, but you you have to knock out a named character.
Mhm.
You get to knock out. You knocked out like 4 people that we liked up to this point,
Yeah.
and you didn't we didn't you could have killed. Okay, but again, I'm gonna open up the Jamas persona again. It'll be a shorter list,
Yeah,
but,
it's
like, okay, seriously, why did we not see, Kurgos die?
Mhm.
Why
Yeah,
did he not die? They
because he's
set
used
it they set it up to be like, "Oh, yeah, this it doesn't matter if he dies, but he'll take Kurgos with him."
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell he escaped that fight against what's
Oh,
his
the
face.
event. Who cares?
No, no, well,
No,
no,
no, no, no, the event.
he didn't have the thing.
Sure, it's time. They go through time. I don't know. I don't
I
know, but my answer now
remains the
is
same.
going to be
Shenanigans.
what happens
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
How did they get the knights off the planet?
a thing.
I think that's literally the answer.
No, they tell what the answer is, and it's not
Oh,
be a thing.
later?
No, there was actually a contingent of what were they? There
And
was
nobody blew that ship out of the sky?
guess not, but there was a ship that picked them
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry. They shrouded it in chaotic fog.
Listen, I agree with Chamlin here. You just can't keep these dirtbag characters alive.
You can't kill Albia because they're a hand of Abaddon. You can't kill Ekria because they're Albia. Um, you could have, they could have at least killed one of the knights.
Yeah.
They could, because then it, well, I mean, and now it makes more sense that it's corn because it's like, why is this Nurgle knight thing not have 7 people? But it has 8 because they're corn. That tracks in my head now.
Yeah.
I was very confused 'cause I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's like one leader with 7 underlings. That kind of tracks.
No, I could see the confusion there.
Well, it's
That's
cut. Look, he opens the chaos ritual with they're a god of the earth. They have the antler. That's so Nurgle.
yeah,
It's so Nurgle quoted.
I know.
And then like the it's chaotic woad with a W.
Yeah.
Chaotic woad and like like it's right there.
It frustrates me that it frustrates you, honestly.
And then like yeah, we don't see anybody lose anybody on the bad guy side.
I wish I could say that changes in future novels, but prepare for disappointment.
Well, I'm assuming at the end all of chaos dies because, like, well, the Imperium has to win something.
We've talked about this before. I will mention it one more time, and then I think we might need to get away, or we're gonna get consumed by rage and hate for this.
We'll become knights of
We
knights
will
of
become
Hern.
Knights of Hern. But in a book series about the Indomitus Crusade, in which there
Yeah,
is
they're really
an
sucking.
insurgence of imperial victory and triumph. They're doing a shitty job of
Yeah,
showing
really.
that.
I mean, I think that the point is that they're trying to show us that, like, yeah, the crusade wasn't all didn't, like, all work perfect. It's like, that's fine, but, like, it's gotta work some.
You gotta give us something, guys. Like, and I'm again prepare for disappointment. But
The moment I saw another piece of the fame, I was disappointed.
yeah, well, that's gonna keep being a thing. So for my part, there are four themes in this time around for this novel. This includes the bleakness of the 40K universe, character development in the form of Ariadne and Kesh, the nature of the Imperium and survival and resilience in the form of Kesh's character as well as Ariadne again. I think for the first time it hit home very well. For me, it hit. I like this novel the first time. I just said that 3 times now
Yeah,
because
you keep circling the point. What's your theme?
I listed them.
Oh, that was all 4? I
I
thought we were at 3.
no, okay, so I'll do it again. Bleakness,
Okay.
character development,
Right.
nature of the Imperium, and survival and
Oh, I thought that was
resilience.
tied into Bleak.
No,
What was the 4th one?
sense of despair and failure.
Oh, that's why. Those last 2,
Yeah, I know what I did. I talked too
you're
fast.
fine.
Another of these themes that resonated well with me was Trooper Kesh and her growth from someone who relied on luck to an independent character shaped by hardship, loss, and making her own luck.
Well, it's not. It's the Emperor's hand.
We know that now, but like she realizes it and begins to harness it.
Which is late too, right? Like,
Yeah,
I can respect a character it's like Han.
yeah.
It's more Star Wars. It's like Han. It'd be like, no, Han is literally lucky. Han is not a. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple of Dark Horse comics, if I remember right, that are like, some people kind of contend that Han is a very, 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 very minor Force user,
He's a nascent force user.
um, which I think detracts from the character.
I
I would rather Han just be lucky, which he is in current canon.
well,
He's just lucky.
for the longest time, they changed in the canon and very brief, and then we're gonna move away from Star Wars
Yeah,
because that was but like
it's
it
not
you
my fault that they do
it
this.
used to be that in the lore of Star Wars before the coming of the mouse, that people who were exceedingly lucky or good shots or just did stuff that were extraordinary in the Star Wars setting were nascent Force users
R-
that were not powerful enough in the Force to have been selected to train further into
Right.
Jedi
I
study.
feel like explanations like that detract from the core of a character rather than tying them into an ephemeral force. So to relate it back to my point, I don't mind Kesh as just a lucky person.
Mhm.
I think it is I don't even mind the concept of Kesh, like discovering their faith, but the fact that everything starts coming down to, like, oh well, the Emperor's hand intervened.
I
Oh,
mean, it's very obvious because the whole scene where,
well, even the sister's like, no, 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 let's test this out.
she
Oh,
did that
good.
too. Like that moment where they were trying to get in and break into the comm center, she was like going ham on the
Like,
great
no,
sword,
you win.
and she's like, it's like,
Right.
and then breaks it. And I
What
was like,
like, isn't that doesn't that just did it
that's
feels lame to
that's their job though. Like, when it comes to the talons of the Emperor, one of
well,
their she if anybody I'm just saying, just for so the viewership can understand. When it comes to the talons of the Emperor, one of the facets of their job description is seeking out people who are champions of the Emperor. Some people who are touched or may become living saints. Um,
people who get models on the tabletop.
People who get models
Or
on the tabletop eventually. Oh, I wanted
who
to
have plot armor.
oh,
Literally who have models.
before I forget, I wanted to tell you this because I looked it up and I found it out. So the Mordians are actually based off of Prussian military forces from the 18th and 19th
Yeah,
century.
or something that wasn't English.
I was wrong that I wanted to let you know that. They are Prussian military from the
Yeah,
18th and 19th
because
century.
there are also the, oh, who is it? It's like the Valhallans. I mean, because but they're not Russian.
The Valhallans are the
But
White Army.
The Morty, there's a short story that I
Yeah.
remember reading. I was like, oh, this is Russia coded.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Valhallans, they're the White Army for
Yeah.
Russia during the Civil War that would eventually lead to communist Russia. And they were on the side of the loyalists that were trying to keep nationalism. Regardless, I was wrong. I wanted to make it known what the Mordians aesthetic was based off of. And to finish my point on this theme bit, I think, and again, I'm going to say some bad stuff about Nick Kyme here soon, but I will give him credit. He did a great job in getting us to see the progression of Kesh. Because what happens next for her, it makes sense why they had to have some
Well, I
stepping
mean, yeah,
stone.
we just killed her boyfriend and her dad.
There, you're not dumb. You already know what her whole deal is. I'm not gonna say it out loud because I don't wanna risk the chance that you may get it wrong, and I might spoil anything for you, but, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next question. If you could give this book a different title, what would it be? And guys, I'm excited for this. I don't disappoint me, Chamlin.
Okay, so for one, let's talk about this title.
Okay,
The Iron Kingdom sucks.
it's not great.
Bad title. Way too generic. I'm not reading a steampunk novel.
3 words is 2 words too many sometimes.
Four syllables. It doesn't mean anything. Do they even call this place the Iron Kingdom? They
No,
call it the Iron
it's
Protectorate.
the Iron Protectorate, so they didn't even
But
get
they
that right.
I think they use the phrase Kingdom of Iron like once.
I don't
I
recall it,
I
but I'm not willing to commit.
I think because like, Iron Gods or whatever. I think it came up somewhere in there, like a Kingdom of Iron Gods. Or maybe that's just me misremembering because they say that like 12 times.
Yeah.
Um One that came off, the top of my head was Knights of Hern,
Mhm.
because they're important to the overall context of what happens in the book.
Yeah.
Um, 2, uh, what is the name of the line that they're like, "We had to establish this, and that's why Camidar is even important."
God damn it. The Anaxian line.
There we go. You could call it, the Anaxian,
Mm.
off 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 the wall, but the Reaping?
That's too
I know it's generic, but if we're going with generic, the Iron Kingdom's generic, but,
well,
like,
no, unfortunately, that's Carcharodon Astra coded.
well, like, whatever, I'm just saying, like, the Imperium's coming to reap their tithe.
Mm,
That's what they're doing. Um, you know,
okay.
and I get it. It's a generic title anyways, but that just did come to mind. No, the first thing that came out was like, why didn't we just title this the Knights of Hern? Because one, you look at it, and you're like, well, what is that about? Like, okay, it's knights. It's a book about knights. Why don't we have knights in the title? Um, you could just call it Knights of Camidar and it'd be better. Um,
Well, we're getting to the where with the 2 that I picked. You're
uh,
getting really close to,
the issue is that when you say it, like, the issue is when I hear Knights, I think because again, I've got Star Wars on my brain because of this book.
yeah,
I think Jedi Knights, but that's
yeah.
not fair.
Uh,
No, my top pick would have been Knights of Herd because it is integral to the end point that we reach in the book
yeah.
with the characters that are supposed to matter.
Mhm. So, I had 2, and I got serious on this one. I didn't have any joke ones. I only did that for the Wolf Time, by the way, because that novel was just so terrible, and I just needed something to add levity.
I don't know. I think this book is not much
It
better
is
than that,
better than the Wolf
and I didn't make
Time.
fun of it anyway.
It is better than the Wolf
Title.
Okay, so
Bringing up the wolf time, I mean,
I just because like, it still upsets me to this day, but so the one that I think is, like, candidate for best title would be Nightfall.
that's you can't do that, man.
Why?
Batman!
Whatever, this is 40K.
Also, the majority of the knights still stand.
It is allegory, my dude.
You could call it Fall of Canaan.
I called Camidor Fallen as my second one, or The Fall of Camidor.
Fall of Camidar rings a little better in my head simply because, what was the first one? Camidar Fallen?
Nightfall.
No, no, no. The first phrase that you were saying.
Okay, so Commodore Fallen. I did
Never
that
felt
because I like that because, it reminds me of Olympus Fallen.
it's very Arthurian coded to me because Camadar sounds a lot like Camelot.
That is not by coincidence,
No
no.
shit.
Uh,
I'm just saying it's very Arthurian coded, so it does work, but you can't do Nightfall
I again,
because it's unfortunately it's Batman.
that's what I say to that. I love Batman, he's my favorite superhero, bar none, like, he just is, but there is not a writing convention and restrictions of titles.
Obviously not, but if somebody picks up a book,
I'm not gonna be upset because it has a Batman
if I
title.
picked up a 40K book and saw Nightfall, I'd be like, "Is Batman in this?"
I mean,
How many I would bet money that more people recognize Nightfall as Batman.
well, you guys take it to the comment sections. Let's see how you feel. Um, that I'll let as my 2 cents. I thought it was more succinct and while allegorical, it is it's because yeah, a house falls, an entire planet falls, and they even allude to the fact that Kamadar's culture is going to be
That
destroyed.
reminds me that reminds me of a different one, Heart of Glory,
I did like the name of that,
because it nails down into a core aspect of what this novel is trying to get at, into what do these characters view as glorious, ergo the heart, and the
yeah,
Heart of Glory is Larock's knight.
yeah.
So, like, you could just do Heart of Glory, and a little generic, sure, but better than Iron King.
It's better than Iron Kingdom, yes,
There's the issue is that I am too displeased with this book to really come up with, like, a proper one, but there's not enough good proper nouns in here to come up with anything good.
which is the thing that you normally don't complain about. It's like the exact opposite with
Well,
you.
there's
You're
just
just like, "There's too many proper nouns."
there's not a lot to go on.
But
I think Knights of Hern, if we're going for Knights of Hern or Heart of Glory.
yeah, okay. I mean, like, I like both our choices. Like, I think we were kind of on the point for this one.
Yeah, this book annoyed me so much that I'm not nailing, like, a perfect title.
Guys, I've never seen him so despondent.
Well, it's just like these other ones have been really easy. If you're like, yeah, it's just called this.
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't they do that? It'd be way better.
I agree with you.
This one is just like, well, I made a shrugging motion.
shrugging notion. How did the book compare to others you've read by the same author or in the same genre?
I've
I mean,
never
like, this question is a bit pretentious because we've read several of this
I've
genre,
never
but,
read
like,
Kyme.
I was curious whether or not you've actually read other novels written by Nick Kyme.
No, he's got another one in this thing, I think.
He does. He writes Hand of Abaddon.
Oh, great. It means I won't like that.
You won't. That's the one that Magda Kesh shows up again.
I mean, that's well and good, but like,
I know and you won't like it because of that. I'm just saying you will dislike it strongly for other reasons that will become known.
because it's the
I am already calling it now. All right. We're several
well,
novels away.
that'll be book 8 of
Yeah.
a 7 book series.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Time it up, Games Workshop.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's see. They're smart because as far as I know, the Scouring hasn't been stated to have X amount of novels. So
Yeah, they're doing it right
they
this
want.
time. They're like, we're gonna do this
We're
as
gonna
number.
make it as many as we can get away with.
That's right. 37 novels later. I
Less
listen,
than the horse hairs.
I just recently covered the Scouring in my lore cast, and I I will be impressed if they manage to exceed 30 novels. I feel they will, but I don't know why they would.
I could see maybe, break.
Yeah, I like that number better. That's like a soft lock
Well,
number.
breaking 20, but then Abnett writes the conclusion, and it's 3 novels that gets them to 24.
Yeah. Like it's
There's not a lot there.
there's not a lot there, but the beauty of the Scouring is like that's gonna be like open ground to create whatever the hell you want to add to the lore within their confines of what is
I mean,
considered
so
to
was
be
the
added.
Henry series.
Yeah, like we learned so much about other characters that had no screen time in the Heresy really than we
Really,
probably
if
should have, but
they're if they that's not this podcast.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, so you have no experience with Nick Kyme. How does it stack up if you're comparing it to the genre?
Oh, to the genre overall, this is some tepid stuff.
Yeah.
It's just it if I read this and they removed the 40K stuff, you know what I mean, like the 40K nouns, be like, okay, this is a fantasy novel about big steampunk robots and knights, and then like, oh, the world government is coming around this island. It's just the English taking over Ireland. I'm not wrong,
That is a gross oversimplification, but yeah,
but I'm
sure.
not wrong.
Well, listen, man, like history is a weird soup of push and pull when it comes to
Yeah,
like so there was a point in ancient history where the Irish were like stomping the British Isles into submission, just like the Brits in turn did
just like the people
close.
who had the knights were stomping on stuff until the emperor came around and was like,
I don't think it's a colonial allegory beat for beat though. There's
"Oh,
certainly
it 12,000% is."
there are elements, but it isn't
Hey, guess what? You're the kingdom that rules this kingdom says, "We're here for our taxes. Give
again,
them to us." "Oh, no? Okay, well, we're gonna have to burn you to the ground."
I mean, yeah, that's again very a gross oversimplification of colonialism. It is still colonialism,
"Oh, you're
but
right. We'll take all the potatoes too."
careful, careful. That's our cash crop. Hi, cha 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 cha
Oh,
cha.
that's the English.
How did okay?
Hey, sorry.
So,
To actually answer the question, to
okay.
actually
Also, I
answer,
am of Irish descent. I can make the jokes. He can't though.
I'm sure you have some Irish somewhere. Everybody does. It's
Ah,
the Midwest.
you know, careful. I don't want them to know where I live.
Yeah, out of the 8 states that comprise the
Yeah.
area that we live in.
Ah, they can figure
Um,
it out based off of my accent, probably.
anyways, to actually stack it up, it is a it is better than the Wolf's Time, barely, and I mean,
I'll take it.
for me, barely.
I'll take it.
Um, not a lot happens, but not nothing happens.
Yeah.
The good thing about this book is that it is set in a wider scope than Wolf Time. Wolf Time is literally a single planet story. Like, there's nothing else going on.
Yeah, I don't wanna rehash old
Right, no, I'm
wounds.
just saying, like, there's nothing going on. But
My question is this real quick, though. If you were to compare the Wolf Time and the Iron Kingdom and decide if you had to pick one stayed and one went, which one would you pick? Like, if you had to remove it from the series.
the problem is that that teardown of the Space Wolves is so gold, and there's nothing like that in this book.
It should be said that there are some nuggets of beauty in the Wolf Time, but,
The
like, they are few and far between, but
They're few
they're
and far
there.
between, but there's moments of like that teardown of the Space Wolves is quite possibly one of the best things you can read in 40K. The issue is that you've got 400 pages around it that are
Yeah.
worthless. Um, this I can't remember. There's not a passage that's gold. Um, I mean, maybe the feast thing, but like whatever. You read one noble turning on a feast, you read them all. Go watch the Red Wedding.
Frankly, yeah, I was about to say Martin did it better. In the novelization,
But
certainly.
there's a couple quotes in here that are good, but like there's not passage. There's not pages of stuff that's like
What
I would literally remember that.
it definitely didn't hurt that they killed, like, 4 of our favorite characters.
And just stupid.
Yeah, well, welcome to a Nick Kyme novel. For my 2 cents, I'll be honest with you, and as I have
Yeah,
already
I mean, let's see here. They're Marines malevolent. They're bastards of the lowest order. Great
yeah,
line. Great line. It's not a page though. It's a line. Blah 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 blah. Oh, an oath has no conscience, nor when spoken can it be unspoken. It merely is. The only certainty was the weight it carried. That's a good. It comes from a Black Templar
surprising as hell, I
rather
know.
than the knights.
Yeah,
Um, which they could do with remembering that, but whatever. Um, yeah, that was literally the only 2 lines the book that I was like, these are actually pretty good lines. The rest of it,
yeah. So, I mean, I already laid it out there. I'm not a huge Nick Kyme fan. All his novels from the Horus Heresy sucked, to put it politely. And just so to put it into context so you understand, he writes salamanders a lot. And he was the guy that wrote that salamander novel.
Oh, where they light the kids on fire?
Uh, no, it wasn't that one. It was one that had the dinosaurs in it. Like, it had the Exodites in it and it had everything it need it may have been that one actually, but it had everything it needed to be a dope ass novel, and he just shot the bed.
Well,
And I don't like the salamanders, so that doesn't help him any, but, like, it's just like seeing him take this novel, and so we're clear, viewership, I actually like The Iron Kingdom. I like it because it has Imperial Knights, yes, but there are, like, other reasons why I like it, and it boils down to, like, the character development of Kesh, and the frankness of Ariadne, and the fact that Reynard, as much as I hate him, because he reminds me of how I used to be, he's still a compelling character.
oh yeah, the issue is that I was gonna read Orc Gods when I was prepping Arc 5, but there
Yeah.
was a point where my prep overtook my free time to read. So I
Mhm.
never got around to it. Which, like, whatever, it was just gonna inform the Custodes thing.
Yeah. So, which is to say that this novel was a knock out of the park, and it was a surprise one for me.
Okay.
I wish I could be kinder to him because I felt he did well for this novel, considering that he is a young author. And
He's a young author. He should quit wasting my time with these. Wait, is there a question that's expressly about the writing style?
yes, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have a
Well,
whole thing.
we're about to get to it.
So, like, and I will yeah, well, we kind of already figured out this question, the whole which character and or quote or passage resonated with you. I refer to the bit with Reynard. Do you have anything to add on that
I
question?
mean, if there was a specific character
You
that
just
I
yeah,
liked Reynard's explanation, just like, no, it's war. You're just guessing it up when you don't need to, and you're not finishing what you need to finish.
yeah. Okay, so I think that's it because like you literally just got done, going on about like there was nothing memorable about this novel for you. So like
Well, when I say that, I mean, like, there's not a page that I would purposefully go back to read.
yeah, like apart from the bit with Reynard, there isn't anything I can pull
I
either.
wouldn't search that out. I just remember that it was a good bit. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Certainly didn't stop me
find
from,
some.
pulling it out and, like, reading it verbatim, but, like, yeah, therein lies the rub. This novel didn't have that for me as well. So we will move on to the next question in lieu of, not rehashing something we've already discussed. Would you recommend this book to others? Why or why not?
I would only in the sense that it is putting your foot in the kiddie pool
Yeah,
of 40K. Like, I wouldn't even say that about Mitchell. Mitchell feels more present in the universe.
definitely a moderate, comprehension.
Like I said, the issue is that, like, there's you could remove, 3 dozen words out of it, and it would just not be a 40K novel.
Yeah,
Um, it you know, like, it's not a bad book, it's just not a good 40K book.
yeah. Um I would only if I noticed you lack understanding in the insidiousness of chaos, or if you like Imperial Knights as a
See,
faction.
here's my problem with that. It's not even like, again, is it insidious if you just get to do whatever you want?
I think that's not fair. I mean, it while it is absolutely statement of fact, and I can concede the point in that regard. I do think that's a very
If they
fair.
faced any adversity and still came out on top, I'd lean towards agreeing with you. That's a good plan. You
Lair
control the sides.
the issue is that it was like shadow play manipulation. It was the understanding that Abaddon the Despoiler sent Augury to the Iron Protectorate to fuck with it for a period of more than 10 years just to destabilize them enough that when somehow he predicted the rise of Gilliman, which is fucking horseshit, by the way.
Yeah, sure. And
Um,
Zane yanks himself off.
yeah, you know what I'm driving at though. Like it's insidious enough where you'd be like, this is the chaos shenanigans I was talking about, Phil.
But
This
it doesn't.
It doesn't make sense. I'm
It,
not
it
arguing that
doesn't.
with you.
It doesn't feel like it.
I'm not arguing that either,
It
but
just
it's
feels
still
like, oh, it just worked out.
now, I will say that when it comes to, like, the Sea of Souls in comparison to the Insidiousness of Chaos and then this, the Iron Kingdom novel, I will point to Sea of Souls for Insidious because, like, that shit was devious what they did. And it was, I mean, it won't be subtle for you because you're pretty good about picking up context clues and when you read. But yeah, like it's all there. Proof is in the pudding. This is how chaos does chaos stuff. But like for me, it comes down to like, do you if you don't understand how chaos functions and you like Imperial Knights, this is the novel for you. Otherwise, pass. 100% pass.
The problem is that, like, for me, okay,
Yeah.
under your presumption of, like, read this for chaos, I wouldn't say no, you give them Rabadon, man. You give them Moloch. That is insidious chaos.
That's also very good writing. Frankly, better writing than Nick Kyme,
Well,
leaps and
you
bounds.
can't be at it.
And that's a hard pill.
That's not fair to say.
It's
That's
a
not fair
hard
to
pill
say.
to swallow for
Why
me too.
why isn't Chaim like, that's not fair, but, like, if you want insidious chaos, you go Moloch.
Yeah, but see, a lot of people aren't deep like we are.
Well, a lot of people are allowed to be wrong, but Moloch is insidious.
And I don't mean to like undercut everybody else in the
If
viewership.
there
So
was a
like,
live action Ravenor, then if Moloch isn't Maz McKenzie, I would riot.
oh, that would be a good cast.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, he can carry a tune though. Therein lies the rub. Like that guy's got the
The
gravitas and
insidiousness.
the charisma to pull it off.
Yeah, the Doctor Voodoo thing was not whatever, but
Yeah.
that was man, that was wasted opportunity. Why
Yeah,
isn't he Doctor Doom? Answer me that.
I don't know.
Why isn't he Doctor Doom?
'Cause he's
He's
not popular enough.
yeah, but he's like actually close to Lithuania. I think he no, he's not Lithuanian.
He's Eastern no, he's not, he's a Scandinavian.
Yeah,
He's
but
Norwegian.
he's got that vibe.
He there are aspects of him that do not scream Eastern
I mean, that is a true
European.
statement, but he was great in Casino Royale. Either way, that's not the
Yeah, no, let me finish. So the reason it boils down to is simple, in that it is a whole lot to grasp, and this isn't a novel that can be read as a standalone. It just can't. You can't go in reading this novel and like understanding a lot. If you are looking for one book to read and you haven't read what came before, this book isn't for you. Like plain and simple. It's the fifth novel in a very long-standing series, and you're just going to get confused. But if you specifically need to see firsthand how insidious chaos can choose to be, warp spaghetti included, and you like Imperial Knights, I would recommend it. Otherwise, nopers. Nope.
yeah. If you're on the fence about Imperial Knights and you don't sound that cool, don't read this because it won't help.
I yeah.
It's like Wolf Time and Space Wolves. It's not a book for Space Wolves people. It's a book for people who kind of don't really care about Space
At any point in time, you are reading something that's set in a setting that you're interested in and you don't understand it. That's a failure on the writer's part to make it
Wolves.
so. But you
I
did.
just don't think that they're as cool as they're trying to make me think they are.
I'm referring to like a layman that doesn't know enough about
Yeah, I mean
40K.
that's
In
fair.
that case, I'm like, no, no, pass. How did the book make you feel overall? Did it change your perspective on any topic?
Oh, I was just disappointed in like the majority of every single decision happening. It's
Yeah.
like this is like all these things are just bad decisions, generally speaking. And the outcomes don't mean anything. There's no consequence.
Yeah.
There's consequence. Look, if there's no consequence to both sides, there's no consequence.
Yeah.
And that's just the simple fact. It's like I was just more and more flabbergasted as to how nothing of consequence was happening to the opposing side. It was just like, okay, well, it just makes you not care.
Yeah, no, I wrote the same thing. Honestly, I have nothing to add. We've touched on that enough, I think. But yeah, I share your opinion to the point where I almost wrote it, but in a different way, as is the case with me. Were there any plot twists that surprised you, and how did they affect your understanding of the story?
Um, I like expected it not to be Orla herself, but like some of the other nobles to flip the table on the Imperium.
Mhm,
That was at least a twist. It was the beginning of the execution was good. The ending of the execution was bad.
mhm.
Um, Everything else was just like kind of by the book of like, okay, okay. the plot twist of there being a shard of the Athame in there was really disappointing. It was like, okay, is it like a demon? It's like, yes, it is a demon, but the demon's unimportant. It's a shard of the Athame. It's like, oh dear God.
Yeah, they're really selling it on the whole Erebus thing coming back. Yeah, I don't know. So for me, this novel was easy to predict to a point. I recall when first reading this novel, I knew damn well that the characters of Ekria and Albia were agents of chaos stirring the pot. Ultimately,
Albia was obvious. Ecria,
it
it took me to be like, it's somebody here, but I don't know which one specifically.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I read a lot of like intrigue novels and stuff like that. But like, I can genuinely say I knew Ekria was an agent of chaos, like very early on. It's she was just doing shit to like stir the pot, and it was just like, okay. So when writings like this and the prose is like this, I see it for
Yeah,
what.
I
But
thought she was just a hardline noble of like, no, we're Countdarian and screw the Indians. Like, okay, that makes sense given what we've been presented.
there was just
There was that final point, like right before she's like, actually, I'm gonna stab you. It's like,
yeah.
oh, never mind. She's the one. Got it. I
Now,
just wanted to see her.
what I didn't foresee was the fact that they were the same person and were in fact a hand of Abaddon, by the name of Augury, which we've alluded to. That twist got me
Yeah,
$100.
if we don't start knocking some of these people off, I'll just care less.
That it didn't really affect my understanding though, other than the layout, how powerful some of these hands of Abaddons apparently are. But yeah,
Chekhov's should have shown you that. We got the Emperor flying around.
yeah. It's
Emperor
just
from
yeah, from the unlimited bean counters and whatnot.
Actually, now that I think about it, every single hand of Abaddon is gonna have a Star Wars moment.
You have not been disproven. Let's see if it stands.
Well, like
Start
we've
looking
seen
for it now.
we've we've seen 2. We got, unlimited power,
Well,
and then we've got actually, in your anger, you
yeah,
killed your friend.
that was so
That
dumb.
was so stupid.
That was so dumb. I hated that. Pa-
Falling to chaos due to your own stupidity is not falling to
Justice
chaos.
for Pontius.
Here's the thing. He deserves to actually go into the discussion of like, did he choose though?
No, he was tricked into it, which is dumb.
Which is not like, and I get it. You could be like, oh well, chaos doesn't have to be fair.
I suppose the question becomes is like he saw his friend cut down Augury in the guise of Albia.
Oh,
Why did he stab him?
I
I just
he didn't realize it. He was so mind fogged that he just moved his hand
God, I hate that. I
instinctively.
hate that. That's bad
I
writing.
didn't say it wasn't. I just said that's what happened. He was so mind fogged that he just moved his hand.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna move on before I start getting upset. Did you find the author's writing style engaging? Why or why not?
I swear to God, you cannot. Okay, don't you dare waste pages of a novel saying part two, and part two happens immediately preceding the chapter that happened.
Oh,
Here's what I thought was gonna go on.
see, that's why I
Okay,
didn't catch you
part
in the
one
beginning.
part one ends. Like, cool. All right. Maybe this engagement lasts for a while. Maybe we're about to go through like, yeah, they've been stuck for months. This generator's been running for months. Even the planets started to be like, yeah, we're running through those stores that they wanted pretty heavy, but like they're the Iron Protectorate. They've lasted 7 years. They've got a lot.
Uh-huh.
And it gets to this part where it's like, well, man, well, we're going to use all these resources. They're going to use all the resources out before we even get the chance to get them. Or we're going to have to scrap the planet. This whole big thing. I read the next chapter. It's literally no different amount of time passed between any of the other chapters. Why did you put a part two and waste 6 pages? Worse than that, he does it again.
I didn't get what you were alluding to in the beginning of this podcast until you said that because I listened to it.
Wait. 4.
I get it now. I listened. Okay, so viewership. I've already read these novels, so what I do is I listen to them, the audio cast version of them, and I tend to like put them to like
Here,
1.5.
well, just
That's ridiculous.
the audacity to dare say that this is part two. Part two requires it doesn't part two total war. Shut up. Shut up.
Where's the amount of time here? No, 5 hours have
You don't
passed.
deserve part 2. You didn't earn part 2. This is just the next chapter.
Now you see why he doesn't do it for me.
Does he do that again
Oh, he
in
does this
he
consistently.
does it in Hand of Abaddon?
Listen, I'm 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 going to tell you what I like real quick, just hold your thought because
Oh, sorry, but the second point,
yeah.
I'm never like, it's happened to, in the rest of the series too, so it's not this kind. I don't like it when you have a chapter jumping multiple points of view.
Mhm.
Give me all of the point of view of this thing, make a new chapter, and have that be the other point of view.
You like Martin. Excuse me. You like the way that Martin writes then. Because he does
No, I don't respect authors who can't finish series.
it doesn't matter. He does exactly what you're saying that you wish that they would do.
Well, I mean, they've done it in other parts of this series
It's
itself.
not a unique thing.
Exactly.
Mm,
I'm just saying, I don't respect authors who don't finish series.
Jumping around in a chapter is always confused me a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I see a certain point to it, but it is poor structuring for certain. Um, Listen, Nick Kyme doesn't do it for me. Sometimes he uses words that are complex for the sake of making him appear smart. Um,
I think that might be a step
uh,
far.
which
I
strikes
don't
me.
think the man's unintelligent.
Oh no, I'm not saying he's dumb. He's just pretentious.
Yeah,
That
part 2, part 3, and that just like
and listen, listen. I don't know this guy personally. I just say his writing style is pretentious. I'm not saying he is pretentious. Let me be clear. I don't want to start no feuds or nothing. It's just I don't like the way his prose is. I feel like he could make it more simple, and he doesn't. He over fixates on things and he plays it off as if it's added content to an already gorged book. I mean, you alluded to the fact that he
you
mentioned
you
twice.
you wasted pages. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even care if you would have filled it with useless prose.
Yeah.
No, you wasted pages with this pause. This book would have had 6 less pages if you had taken out part 2, part 3 for the break.
Yeah.
It's
The little blessing to all of this for me is the fact that I think he's starting because like he used to be really bad at about the things that we just discussed when
well,
like his first novels were coming out, but he has progressively gotten better, and in that regard, it is a little
was his
blessing.
first thing the novella series?
I think that he touched Tau and Imperial Guard first.
Okay, because like, I know they were Orc Gods, and that was just some little mini thing. I don't know if that was
He does Salamander books like a lot. I know that
well, I
much.
mean, that's fine. I was if the novella was his first thing, then that I would get in terms of, like, the way that he paces himself. But this book did like, you didn't do anything with your pause.
Yeah.
You just used pages.
And therein lies the rub. And he does it a lot. Like this isn't the first time I've read one of his novels, rather was forced to read one of his novels and was like, my dude, there's just a more simple way you could be doing this and structuring it different and not Tolkien out for some reason. Because any point in time you waste 6 pages on a fucking button, you have failed as a writer.
So, Martin?
Martin's prose is very simple and clean, which, as you know, I subscribe to, and he's a good writer. I don't have a lot of negative things to say about him. That being said, there are some negative things. Martin, as an example, he likes to over fixate on interpersonal stuff that inherently
I
isn't
just meant that he can
necessary.
go on and on about food.
Well, everybody's got something that they
Well,
fixate on.
that's what I'm just saying. You
But like,
you say you're Tolkien out, like, well, the dude does waste
listen,
pages on food.
listen, I have read Martin stuff, and not once have I been like, "Oh, geez, man, just wrap this shit up." Whereas if when I read Tolkien, I was just like, "Oh, I
I think there are a lot of people who would like Martin to wrap it up.
yeah, am one of those." But like, let's be real, he doesn't have interest in it.
Now, to be fair, I have tried to crack the Silmarillion 3 times and failed each time.
The fact that
It is the only book that actually put me to sleep.
have you read The Hobbit?
Yes.
Lord of the Rings?
Right.
Yeah, I'm touching bases because there's some people
Those are
that
the
cannot make it through the first Fellowship.
those are the things that you if you're gonna read Tolkien, 1, you gotta read The Hobbit.
Yeah.
It is a tight novel.
That is the first,
Um,
and I argue only thing you should read that he write.
Now, to be fair, he wrote The Hobbit for his kids,
Yeah,
and it shows. But he liked that, and he wrote the epic. I guess you could call it saga. Well, I mean, like literally, like that, like the literal, the literary definition of the phrase epic.
yeah,
Which is what it is.
yeah.
Uh,
I
you can call the Iliad and the Odyssey an epic. It's the same difference.
I mean, they are well, the word epic does come from, like, the Iliad and
That's
the
what I'm saying.
Odyssey.
It's also technically two books of an eight-book series that we don't have the other books for,
Exactly.
which is
There's
really sad.
yeah, one it's the same thing with the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's literally, like, one chapter of an
Exactly.
overarching epic that we've
Well,
lost
what
to
I
the
mean
sands of
is
time.
like the dude made an epic. He set out to make one, and that's what he did.
Wrote an
Uh,
entire language, multiple languages for it, actually.
I mean,
I props to him, boring read.
I mean, like I, I didn't, it's not as tight as The Hobbit,
No.
but it is not a, it is for me, it is the same as reading a book of mythology.
I prescribe to you this music video, fully colored and everything, and it's
Yeah,
animated.
yeah, we've all seen
It's
that. It
walk,
was.
walk, walk, walk. That's right there. That's why I can't, like, get through the First Fellowship. I've read it. I've read every single one of those novels, including the Silmarillion to completion, by the way. But it is not my cup of tea. You would never get me to listen or read any of those books. I could do The Hobbit. I'll probably do The Hobbit again because I like my girls listening to that.
Right?
It's good. It's good.
It does not waste its time.
All right, we got to move away
Sorry,
from
what
yeah.
was
We well, you already did
Oh, right,
writing
yeah.
style engaging. Why or why not?
Going on a lambast about the pretentiousness of parts 2 and 3 and wasting my time.
Again, I don't think the man is pretentious. I just think he writes pretentiously. That's the gist. At any point in time, two things is redundant. Therefore, and then like that's the other thing too. I want to make sure I'm not like about to talk about something that I'm going to bring up later. Um, yeah, okay, we'll just move on because I do bring it up later. Moving on to the next question. What did you learn from this book that you didn't know before?
I have another question.
I mean, it is kind of sort of, but like
Okay, other than they're gonna glaze the theme for the rest of this series,
oh yeah, for sure.
because like, if it comes up twice, it's a theme.
It's going to come back
Like, I
again.
just
Yeah.
which is just like, it was cool the first time I read it, I was like, "Oh, cool. That's neat. I'll use this." And I did, and I didn't do it more than once that I can recall,
Yeah.
or I didn't do it the same way more than once.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the issue is that, like, unfortunately, what they're using this thing for is not even what the thing was originally used for, which is corrupting Mortis.
Yes.
They're using it to just plot teleport themselves, which is lame.
I remember a time when the anatheme was just something that you just whispered somebody's name into and it was designed to be really good at killing that person. And now they can use it to tear into reality
Well,
and transport to
the issue is that,
places.
like, maybe
Back in my day, the anatheme blade only killed people when you said
okay.
I'm just being
Well, no, you're conflating anathema and the thing. But um which I try I don't I mean I do it too, but
it's how it's pronounced. I'm just
there's
cutting
no N in it. It's a
it's
thing.
still how it's pronounced.
There's no there's no A in any.
Argue me listen, man, this is one of the moments where I don't understand it either, but it is how it's pronounced.
That's 3 extra letters that don't exist. What are they, silent
Yes.
and non-existent?
Buddy, I don't understand it either. I'm telling you, it is how it's
Is
pronounced.
it an anagram?
I don't know. I really don't know how to give you your satisfaction here.
I
It upsets me too.
either way, um, it'd just be cool if they were used it for literally anything that wasn't like, "Okay, we gotta get over here, bye." Like, that's cool once, but, like, if that's are is that all like,
Yeah, they all
that's
do it.
all they use it for?
The shard,
They don't
no,
use it for another for
they're
if they don't utilize it in a different way, it's just like,
they are going to accumulate with a story arc involving those shards.
okay.
It is going to
That's
come up.
fine. I don't mind that. I just mind that, like, okay, well, we've seen it twice and they've used it the same.
Yeah, no, I was gonna be honest with you there. For a while there, I think when I got to like book 8, I'm like, all right, they need to wrap up this subplot because this is going on too long. But they, and to answer your question, They do. Like, it comes to a climax, there is conflict resolution to at least into, what they're trying to create. But, yeah, for my part, I learned that Imperial Knights are easy to dupe, and apparently I can listen to novels at 1.5 times the speed and still retain
This
everything.
was a to give credit to this novel, this was a lightning fast read.
Ye it really
Nothing in this novel slogged, which I don't know. I mean, it speaks well to some of the other books in this because some of the other books in this are a slog.
yeah, Throne of Light was a slog for me,
But
we've discussed this, but, like,
this burned fast. I've been done with this for like 3 weeks.
I didn't have as much interest reading this a second time.
Now, don't get me wrong. I had like a couple like instances where I had like a free hour, but that only happened twice. But even then, that would have only that cut down essentially like 3 days.
So there's also another thing too. I deliberately when I went through these novels for the first time, I deliberately did not look at who wrote them because I knew it was gonna
Oh, I never cared about
I yeah, I knew it was gonna jade my opinion and I was going to compromise. So, like, I did when I went to listen to this because I read it the first time, and then I've only listened to it just this one time. It took long for me to get through it because his writing style
Well,
just upsets me.
it is a personal flaw, but I legitimately cannot properly associate like similar like authors to works that they write.
Yeah,
Basically, like if I look at like okay, I know Abnett writes this way,
yeah,
but like it doesn't track in terms of like I'm not gonna look at a Nick Kyme book and be like, whatever. If I read more than one, which I will, I'll just be like, okay, this is just how the dude writes. Kind of fair. But it's the same
yeah,
way of like if I see an actor, I don't cross it with their name.
yeah.
I have to I have to experience it.
Yeah, no, there's no dops in
You
you, or
hear
if it's
You hear Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart is always Humphrey.
yeah,
It doesn't matter what Humphrey Bogart's doing. You hear that voice, and you're like, oh, that's the guy that I know. And it's like, oh right, it's Humphrey Bogart. I always forget his name.
and to the credit, like, listen, like, we all have that weird niche thing that we're exceptionally good at doing. I would say I'm very good at, like, identifying themes and the thing that you're just talking about now that you don't have the ability to do, I noticeably can do it. But, at the same time, there's just certain things that you pick up on prose that I didn't pick up on. So, there ain't no dig. It's just like we got our strengths and
No, you're
weaknesses.
fine. I'm just saying.
Um,
So for me, this
yeah, yeah. It's I'm starting to learn it at least as I'm going through these novels, something personal about myself, and it is that I can retain this quicker, as it moves faster. Like, because listening to like an audio at 1.5 times speed. A lot of people can do it. That's no big oomph. But like at the same time, like try doing that with a novel and see if you retain. And the fact that I do, I don't know. It's because I already read the novel and I retained it from
I'm
prior.
gonna assume that you're repeating old information and just bring it back up.
I'm very good at eidetic recall as well. That's always been kind of a thing that I'm good at, but, like, to each their own. We're gonna move on, because we're starting to run pretty long here, look at that. So given that 40K has an extensive RPG collection, what would you pull from this novel for a game?
This idea would be great if you had the capability of running two separate groups.
Mm,
If you were running uh, an only war group on planet and a rogue trader like Navy rogue trader, because you can build Navy captains and rogue traders,
yeah,
and you were running that, and you were running two separate groups. Where like, okay, 1 week only war feeds back into events because they can't talk to each other. So you have to do it in two separate groups.
oh,
But
that's fucking brilliant, I love
I
that.
know.
That's a West March campaign.
No, it's not because it's only on one planet. Um, and the groups don't change. You'd have to have one cast of characters and one cast of
I
characters.
mean, it's
I know Critical Role is changing the definition of what West Marches is, and I could go on my own hour-long diatribe about it, but they don't get to make the definition change just because they're colloquially popular
All right.
Brennan Lee Mulligan, I respect you, but not what you're doing.
Hey, take a step back.
Although you're what's his name? The Liar God. That, I mean, that's just gold. I mean,
That was good shit.
his
It's good
Exandria
shit.
series, like that's
It's good shit.
there's not nobody could if they ever have Osmandius or whatever
Osmodeus.
Osmodius in a game and they don't have Brennan Lee Mulligan doing it, you have failed and you need to go get more money.
God, he's so good.
He's
He was
oh,
so good in that series.
but screw Critical Role for changing the definition of the phrase most much. It's just because they think that that's the way that it works, and it's definitely not. Either way, you'd have one group of people in an only war game, and you'd have one group of people in a AD game, and they don't talk to each other. They don't know what's going on besides the events that they can observe that has happened the week prior and the week after on each side. And it's only at like the finale where you bring in both groups and you bring it to a close. That is that game.
You would have to get two groups of people who are not friends with each other as well, because they
Technically,
would talk.
or you could just be like, hey, would you bring them all together for like the session zero?
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, this group, because you can't just spring that on a group of people. That's not fair. You'd be like, hey, this is going to split, one, or you could even do it to both groups in 1 week if you're in high school and half the time. I'm right. We had that much time.
Yeah. Well, I
And I
mean,
miss having that much time.
I I still do.
I miss killing myself. I miss not killing myself 10 hours a day.
My heart goes out to you, my dude. I have that kind of time, but I'm also, partially disabled. So
There you go. You don't have two groups of people to do it with.
this is true. I have a very small, selected group of
You have
friends.
a crack commando group that can meet once a week and all like gaming.
Yeah.
So we are
Brilliant,
thankful,
brilliant bastards, each and every one of
we
us.
are thankful for what we've got, which we apparently have a golden goose, and
Yeah.
we are not taking that for granted.
Listen, I love these bastards, but we are good at what we do, and what we do is not pretty. If there's a reason why we play tested what we did and where we
You
did.
know, long way back to base.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Either
is.
way, this book has an amazing game idea,
Yeah.
and it would be very cool if you pulled it off.
I really just don't want to even talk about like what my thing was because yours is so good. I love it. I love
No,
it.
no, let's hear it.
It's so lame though.
That's irrelevant. Your titles were lame for Wolf Time, but we still talked about it.
Cool. So like first of all, I'll have you know, I've had several people said that shit was hilarious. Oh no, fuck you. Don't be like that. I'm sure you think you just fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you all day.
Okay, seriously, what?
All right. So first of all, the system. I would use Wrath and Glory for this one. Like, just because like you can pull well, it's just like you can pick almost any character with Wrath and Glory
Yeah,
at
you
this
can't do
point.
orcs.
Yeah.
Get on it, C7.
Yeah. Two different things are going on in this novel. Not to use a system known for including most of the Imperium, save the Imperial Knight, sadly. I would
There
love.
is a knight stat, but we never got a pilot.
Yeah, yeah.
This is weird.
As for what I would pull, like from the novel to incorporate, likely the insidious tactics of chaos to trick up my players. Because, like, I do genuinely like the idea of running a campaign where the entire premise is that you guys are on a golden goose chase and you think you're doing the right thing, but you're ultimately playing into the hand of chaos. And as it goes along, I slowly start trying to do things to incorporate you into the fold that would make sense for your character development. But of course, that would also be one of those things where in session zero, I'd be like, hey, so the goal is to do this. That way, I don't blindside you guys with, the fate of the galaxy or some shit like that. And you're like, and then you do the thing. I,
Yeah, we don't do
I
the thing that we did.
listen, I learned, but I will fight for your right to have done that every single time that gets brought up. And it has been brought up in the past. And I have always defended that action. We have a friend, I won't name them. Let's just say that his name is Wario, who pitched a fit over that. And I had to tell him, is like, listen, he played his character exactly the way that he was supposed to. The what he would have done is what he did. And it's not fair to talk badly about.
I also explained it.
Yeah, I know. It's just there was animosity there for a
Oh,
while.
I am aware of that.
There was a animosity that carried a flame longer than it had any business
Well, it's like,
to. It was a while, but I I'll be damned if I'll have naysaying about it.
yeah, but we can't do table stories because
Yeah.
we're already burning.
Yeah, we are. We're burning pretty brightly. Okay, moving
No,
on.
you're fine. That what was the end of your? Oh, you
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
the
no.
Insidious.
I genuinely want to do like a Fall to Chaos
I
campaign.
would certainly play the character that is always like, "Nah, we can't do that," and then it's
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. What scene would you like to see animated?
oh, jeez. It's not because like, oh, there's so many. It's the other way
He's
around.
trying to figure out what's worth
I
animating.
get like the malevolent draw on Kamidar.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Just to see them burn their path.
Mm,
That'd be nice. I mean, it would stop like the first little operation there where they drop the tower. That'd be pretty sick.
yeah.
Because afterwards, they get ground in. But the first bit, drop pods, bop. They go to they blow up the tower. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Um So you can't go wrong with night battles when it comes to animating them. I've seen it before in Warhammer TV. Um, that shit was awesome. There were a few that caught my interest. The main one being the duel between Bearheart, Decurio, and Lariok Solus. Specifically, the one where Lariok takes the Superior Knight out, because that was a pretty brutal death. Another thing, what?
Yeah, but that's chaos. Unfortunately, you can't attribute any victories of his to anything that isn't chaos.
Yeah,
The first duel, that was a good duel. It was just them fight,
you might like this one
and
then.
he was just done.
Another thing I'd like to see animated is the attack on the convoy where we see knights wreck the Astartes. There is something that I think is just frankly good stuff when I see, the premier warrior template of the Imperium get thrashed around like ragdolls. That just puts a smile on my face.
The issue is that when I see that in my head, I just see small soldiers.
Fair enough. But like I do, yeah.
Okay, that's all I see.
Yeah. There's just something about like, an Astartes getting wrecked by an Imperial Knight that just puts a smile on my face. I don't know why. I think it is the ragdolling because be the one time like Skyrim bug happens where, you just see like a seismic slam for an Imperial Knight and then Astartes goes 30 feet in the air. That shit would be funny to see. Um, it's unfortunate that they get hosed in the first bits of the novel. But I will also note, towards the end, the Astartes came prepared and started wrecking Imperial Knights left, right, and center at some point.
I don't know. Every one of those exchanges, they say like a lot of people are worried.
Well, the Marines Malvent came prepared, and they actually did.
I know. Every one of those exchanges,
Also,
they still
more
say,
also Morgan and his cronies in tow knobbed the knights at the knee, and it was funny
well,
because
that's
they
what
brought thunder hammers, and I'm
you
like,
have a
yes.
machine that has a center of gravity that's predicated upon two knees. Yeah, you take out the knees and
I
they
just like
fall down.
the idea of seeing a Black Templar with a thunder hammer take out the knees on an Imperial Knight is funny to me. I don't know why. It just is. But last question. What would you add or remove from the book if given the option?
Oh my god. Okay. The thing I think that would legitimately fix this for me is how this book is basically like 15% chaos and 85% imperial focus.
Yeah, yeah. There seems to be a
I
focus
just mean
there.
chapter wise.
Yeah,
Flip that. Put it in the point of view of Albia and what they're doing, and you don't reveal you keep them separate characters until the end where you then realize they are both the same person.
yeah.
Because Albia is involved in everything that is going on.
Oh, yeah.
If it's from their point of view, then we still see everything that happens,
Yeah,
except for the Red Coursers, but they're still chaos, so we'll see them anyways. This is a chaos book. They're just showing us the Imperial side, and I don't care. It just it because nothing happens to chaos. I don't care about what happens to the Imperials.
It is an unfortunate thing when you make us not care about the characters.
But and then like there's yeah, I mean there's more than one thing that I would change. But like the ending is so now I'll bring that up when we talk about how grimdark this novel is. I would legitimately change the focus of this book
Yeah.
because if we focused on the chaos side of it, it might get pretty interesting. But we see so little of it that it doesn't mean anything because they get everything that they want without doing anything.
Yeah.
They just walk around and then suddenly teleport with the thing, and then they get a full on cruiser.
Yeah, that was not a
It was so
that
stupid.
that was such a painful victory for the Imperium. That is like, if I recall correctly, that is like one of the 3rd rarest
Admittedly,
types of ship.
you name your ship Fell Lord, kind of asking for it to get stolen.
Yeah, but Artemis was such a prick. So, like, you don't feel bad.
Well, I they humanize him later, and you're like, okay, cool. So he's gonna like fight, and no, the Red Corsair just strolls up. He's like, are you gonna stand down? Or are we gonna do this?" He's like, "I'll fight," and she's like, "Whatever." And then we cut, and it's like, "Okay,
It's like, well, this is not a challenge. You're like,
well, it's like right, but like we've seen humans take out Astartes before.
right,
We
but
have
there
read it
yeah, but there was no way in hell Artemis was gonna take out Herok. It wasn't gonna happen.
because Harak has plot armor. Who knows who can take him out?
Well, he
We
had
could see a Grot take the dude out if he didn't
unfortunate
have plot armor.
yeah, by the way, can we just, like, briefly talk about how this is the one facet about 40K as a series of novels that I do not like? The whole Forces of Destiny shit with, like, Chaos
But you like
Champions. Yeah, but, like, her whole thing is like she's not like seeking that kind of dominion over herself. With gods of chaos, it is always the same thing: supplication through service and toil.
the
But like with her, she's just trying to become what she, wants to be, not inherently trying to play upon, a god for strength, like Hurok did. Hurok is literally his whole thing is like, I am destined by the gods, but I must be careful because I know they're fickle.
well, I mean, I
He's playing the field.
the issue is that like they bring up this discussion back in oh, which one was it?
It
Whenever
was Throne of
Tenebris
Light.
yeah, when Tenebris is talking to Corferon, they're like, that is a good discussion. That is something we need to nail down on. That is something to expand by showing us first person account of chaos and them just talking about their mind space as
Yeah,
it relates to their worship or activity or lack of worship because you can be chaotic and not worship. Tenebris is an example of that.
yeah.
But like, show us the other hands of Abaddon. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, this entire series should have been one novel for each of the hands from the hand's point of view.
Hmm.
I don't like Tenebris, but I I did like him for like the 5 seconds that I got like, oh cool, this is his all right, I like never mind, you're just stupid. Um
Yeah, it's usually how it goes with chaos
well,
characters.
but like that's what we should have done. If this is about the hands of Abaddon,
Not really, but like
the large scope subplot is
I think they lost their scope for this
well,
series.
yeah, when your 7 book series ends up with 9 books, you have you've failed. You can't say this series is going to be 7 books, put out 9, and expect it to feel right.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they this could have been written from the other perspective, and we would have not only gotten a lot of information about the Hands of Abaddon, but what they know, what their plans are. You know, they could have presented it as like Ekria and Albia are both separate hands, but they're not. They're just one.
hmm
You know, it could have like I think it could have legitimately one. It would have turned my stuff around because I've been like, oh, cool. That makes more sense. And you know, it's like it would be interesting to get the perspective shift because we see so much of the Imperium in this, and chaos is always supposed to be there. And this is about the subtle infiltration of chaos.
yeah.
Show me. Show me.
Yeah, but they're not gonna do that because once they put a light to it, it becomes so obvious and or non-interesting.
Well, you could have wasted prose. You know what? Part 1 could have been Albia. Part 2 could have been Ecria or vice versa.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
then part 3 would have been both of them together because they're the same person. It would have been great. Or part 3 would have been the Red Corsair.
yeah,
Whatever. I don't care.
missed
But
opportunity for
this is a
certain.
seriously missed opportunity because like this book from the Imperial perspective is just them getting raffle stomped
Mhm,
hard. They
mhm.
get nothing. Absolutely nothing. They
I
come out negative.
I am quite tired of seeing the Imperium keep taking L's, taking really bad L's in a series that's supposed to be about them taking V's.
Yeah, and exactly. Like there is a discussion to be had of like, well, the Imperium always wins. It keeps enduring. It's like, yeah, but like there's a difference between the Imperium raffle stomping something and this thing that is supposed to at least there's no threat the Imperium calls.
Yeah,
There's no threat the Emperor dies. There's no threat that the Imperium doesn't endure. You know why? Because Plague War exists.
yeah,
Because we know linearly, chronologically, narratively how this pans out.
yeah.
We know what happens. It doesn't matter any other way. We know Goman lives. We know Fabian's around. We know I'm actually fairly certain we know Messinus is there.
Messenius is still around.
Yeah, like I feel like we knew that. And then we know the Dick Custodes, Culkin,
Colqu
Conklin,
Colquin,
Colqua,
Colquin,
Colloqua,
Coaqua,
Cloaca, there we go.
Coaca.
That's actually more fair.
I mean, to be fair, he is a well, he is not a Coaca, but he is a dick,
He might as well.
and I feel calling him Coaca makes me feel better.
But we know he's around.
Yeah,
Like, so this book has to give us something different. This series has to give us something that isn't like, oh, this is a threat that the Imperium's gonna fall. No, it will not.
I do look forward to when we finish this series,
And I'll be disappointed.
and you're gonna be disappointed. I
Sure.
I'm already calling that
Because
one.
I know, because like we know that like Gorman and the Silent King do have a conversation. They need to have one. They are they're stated to have one because we know they have one.
Okay.
I don't know if they have it in that book, but I know that they have one.
Um, well, I guess we'll find out. Let me finish my 2 cents on
Yeah,
this last question, and then let's get into our grimdark, rating.
yeah. Don't worry. There's another round.
We're making such beautiful time, guys. This is actually our
I
longest
was
running
gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's the longest.
this is our longest running episode. But anyway, the novel did run a little long and was redundant in some places for me. I
Long, you lost. We had 6 pages to skip.
I really liked Neova Ariadne as a character, but her story and character development mirrors Magda Kesh and thus is redundant and could be removed without much loss to the overarching narrative. Um, I mean, after all, in the end, she decides that she's had enough and plans to cycle out of Fleet Primus if possible. Pointless in the larger scheme of things. We will never see her character again, just so you know.
Yeah, but we don't see normal.
Well, she's again, this is Neova is the Nora of this novel.
See, now
Sure,
we need a novel.
absolutely.
Now, you know what would have been great?
Yeah,
Nova transfers out and finds Narwa,
yeah,
and then they go do something important.
yeah. I liked her
The
character. I
sad thing
really
is that, like,
did.
you know that like Narwa like ends up as some joy girl on the streets of Terra, and
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
dies of a
Shut up.
overdose.
Listen, you already bursted a bubble of mine
Oh,
with my
because of the Noctilus.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't notice that. I'm upset at myself more than I'm upset at the whole thing.
I didn't like, I was like, okay, it's Blackstone. It's probably Noctilus. And then the dude picks it up. He's like, this can't be this. I'll just stuff it into my pants. I'm like, oh, it's definitely Noctilus. This guy's just stupid.
Yeah.
Got it. Because it even explains, like, he complains that, like, this is his lot in life and he doesn't get it. He's not important. It's like, well, if you're a tech priest that found a chunk of Noctilus, you'd have had a better life, but you're too stupid, buddy. So Cole probably finds him and murders him and takes his Gorget.
I I can't recall whether or not that ever
Oh,
gets
in
brought.
this book? Probably not. In the Cole books? Probably.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know because, like, we're starting to get to that point, at least for me personally, where there's some of these newer novels that have come out that I haven't had a chance to read. And that's a first for me because I've been pretty much on the grindstone with 40K novels since I was like 12, 13 years old. It's been a minute, which is to say a very long minute, but
So what would you change? Oh, you get rid of
I would get rid of Ariadne
okay.
and her entire subplot.
I'd honestly do the opposite.
Yeah, get rid of her
I
entire subplot.
I just leave Cash alone. I'd
The
stick her in the POW spot and then have Eridine be out in the
See,
wild.
I knew when I read this the first time around that Kesh was going to do something in a future novel because they were heavily implying that, like, she's got
Oh, yeah.
miracle
I mean,
potential.
I get that. I'm just saying, like,
So, like,
I would have sidelined Cash.
and also Kesh is the main protagonist of this novel. Like, that's just facts, whether we like it or not.
I'm not disputing it. I'm just telling you I would have done the opposite.
Then we would have a throwaway character that would never be seen again and thus miss the point of the entire theme of the
Yeah,
novel.
but they already do that all the time.
Yeah, I know, but we're not trying to compound interest here. We're trying to actually improve this
Oh, right.
novel.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
Moving on.
Part 5.
Part 5, part 6. All right. Grimdark rating. You first. Get this out of your
Oh,
system.
no, man. Like, the only reason I'm saying 2 is because they actually had something chaosy happen.
Okay.
Like, it is literally on the verge of being a 1 about how tepid this book is. Here it is. It's so lame. The ending is so lame. Like, they set it up and say, like, "Oh, this dude they're replacing is definitely gonna get cycled out eventually, probably pretty soon." It's like, but, like, this ending is laughably lame. 1, there's no way, regardless of if it's Goldman's Imperium,
Mhm.
there's no way that they don't come down to this planet, take every noble, and pike them to prove the point.
I do not recall what happens,
No,
but I do know that Gilliman mentions it in a later novel,
like,
as if something happened.
oh, great, sure. Well, at the end of this novel, nothing happens. They say, okay, the brother's in charge, and he immediately had a ceasefire, and it lasts for a couple more hours because ceasefires take time to filter through.
Yeah.
And then the replacement commander, because the first replacement was still had in the process of recovering and or dying. I don't remember if they confirm whether he died.
I just like, that's
He's infirmed either way.
I just like I can't wrap my head around the idea that Artemis wouldn't have gone full tilt the moment a Custodes was killed. But he didn't
He didn't
know.
know.
He didn't know. And then like that makes sense.
Yeah, until Cash gets the message out, then he's like, "Oh, we go full tilt. Go on, Rainer, go kill him."
I mean, Raynor was already there. Like he was
No,
a
that drop happened after the reveal of the
nope.
Feast of Death.
Okay. So Raynor was on planet right before the ceasefire happened.
That wasn't right.
No, okay, so like Raynor definitely was guerrilla fighting.
Yes,
Okay, so
the
like
guerrilla fighting happened. He sent the guerrilla fighters down after Kesh got the message
no,
out.
that happened before. That 100% happened before. He Artemis had the the foresight to know that like it was probably going to come to blows again. So right before the ceasefire happened, he put Raynor and the sisters down there. I know for a fact that that's what happened. I literally just went through it a couple days ago. And as I was like, okay, that makes sense. That means Artemis isn't stupid and incompetent because he knew he was going to come to blows. So he was destroying the infrastructure and destabilizing the population, will the fight leading up to, and then they find out and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm sending the entire armies in now. But it doesn't,
Either way, the replacement dude. he's just like, okay, well, we're gonna be real gentle with them, and well, they're gonna get turned into a bastion mold anyways, so we're just gonna let them think that we're gonna gently let them keep their culture, and we're gonna, get the resources that we want because like Garrett or whatever his stupid name is capitulated because he's like, well, they're gonna literally murder us all if we
So
don't.
Messenius was in system.
That's what I'm saying. Messenius would have been here's what I understand probably should have happened. Messenius would have just gone down and been like, everybody I'm looking at right now is dead.
He's done that before.
Right.
He's going to do it again in a future
That's what
novel.
I'm saying.
Like, I can, like, 100%, I'm just going to tell you this. There is an actual scene in a future novel where this sort of shit happened, and he pikes every motherfucker
Now,
there.
see, to be fair, if they bring up where it's like, yeah, they learned from Kamadar, they're teaching everybody the lesson.
I can only assume that's what it is because he alludes to Kamadar in
Okay.
that scene.
So that must be the reason why they're like, no, 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 no. Messenius is teaching them the lesson. Like, we're not doing another one.
He's like after Kamador. Well, he doesn't just. It's kind of like a very brief allusion, but he's just like, and he's thinking it. He doesn't say it out loud.
Like, we're not
And
doing this.
he's like, we're not. You oppose the will of the emperor by defying his imperium, and you will all be put to the sword.
Which,
My mercy has its limits, so I'm going to hang you and not run you through because you don't deserve honorable death. And then he proceeds to hang, like he does the whole thing where like he pikes the ringleader. Before the ringleader goes, he's like, "Please spare my men. They were following orders." And then Messenius is like, "We all have a choice."
Messenius does that, what is it, Chris Evans laugh? Where he's like,
He's like,
leans back.
well, Messenius rightly says is like, "We all have a choice. You chose to defy the emperor, therefore death."
Right. That's why I say, like, this thing has, like, a 2 edging closer to 1 than it is to 3.
God, it's just like, no, this is just a failure of writing, is what it is. Because there's no way that Messenius wouldn't have went down there with his entire spear tip and destroy
That's
everything.
exactly the bigger point because, like, it doesn't matter what this dude from the remaining forces of the Fell Lord that survived
Yeah,
wanted. Messenius was already in system. He was already like, "This is taking too long.
yeah.
I'm done waiting." Or, "We have to be done waiting." He would have just gone down there and been like, "Really screwed the pitch on this one. Everybody here is dead. And you all, the actual imperial citizens, because these people aren't, they're mongrels now." He probably wouldn't say that. He's just like,
No, he's too
it's like, no,
taciturn.
no, no. These people decided to not be part of the Imperium when they took up arms, regardless of whose orders. What they should have done was turn on the people telling them to take up arms against their rightful
Yeah.
masters.
Well,
Either way, they're all dead. You get the resources, and we're going to import people to this planet to do what we told them to do.
exactly. Like he would Messenius 100%, just because he does it in a future novel, would destroy all the houses. Like everybody would get stuck in.
Because they even say it's like, well, this place is going to turn into a bastion mold. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what their culture is.
Yeah.
Which I now realize since I turned Philrod into a bastion mold, technically that culture's gone eventually. But I also so
Well, the culture that existed
which
before
means
dies and then is replaced
well,
with a new one.
which is interesting because like the entire precept concept of that game before you were like, hey, don't blow up this planet because I have a part of my soul in it. And it's my phylactery.
Yeah.
Um
Shut up. They can't
was
know.
was literally about like destroying it physically with Tyranids.
Yeah.
But I ended up destroying it culturally with Ghoul. I didn't realize it because like, oh yeah, it's like it's important now, right?
Well, I mean,
Which it is, because like Ghoul would be like, no, 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 this thing's actually important. We're gonna use this.
yeah, I mean, well,
So it's an honor, but like,
it would have happened too, because like the Feldorinians by the end of the last arc, they were in no position to hold on to anything.
Yeah.
But then again, if they see Gilliman, the guy that sent them there in the first place to create Felderon, they're like, "Oh well, we're bending the knee and we're doing it like yesterday."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Philly
they're already
Phi-
Greco-Roman enough
Philly
anyway. So
Philly probably has some opinions on what's gonna happen with that, but it doesn't matter what happens with that eventually.
Well,
What like in that game.
he's gonna see Dante and probably the lion before they see Gilliman, but that's neither here nor there. But like, yeah. So, what's your final verdict on the rating?
I mean, like I said, a low, low, low
Low
2.
one, two?
A
Oh,
low
you
2 because there is actual chaos stuff that happens, and that immediately gives them more than 1. If there wasn't chaos stuff, if it was only like aliens,
yeah,
then you can get a 1 if you just have aliens,
yeah. I
depending on
think
what you do with it.
I think the clusterfuck of imperial on imperial action that didn't need to happen and the loss of life and the insidiousness of chaos gives it a 3 for me. That's it. I think it's
I'm
too high.
I am very, very firm in my definition of grimdark, where humans just killing humans doesn't give it enough for me.
It's well, yeah. I suppose the diaspora of like violence for the sake of violence versus violence that need not be is uniquely the difference between, like, say, grimdark, which is like the need not be, versus violence for the sake of it, which is, well, snuff poetry. Let's put it
I
politely.
mean, if both sides lost something, I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
One side
Once
it's like
again, it didn't happen though.
one
Well,
side walked away unscathed.
again, again. Ah, mm. You know what?
To be fair, the problem is that Throne of Light is slightly better than this because Tenebris legitimately had to go through stuff to get where he did. Now, don't get me wrong, he ended not nothing happening to him, but literally nothing like they don't go through anything. The brother has a couple mental breakdowns, and then he's completely fine once they reveal the anathema because he served his purpose, so he gets to have his mind back.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Oh, sorry, a thing. No, no, no. No.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
interesting that like the blade Kohler was the reason why he well, was it because once he had it and it became exposed, he
The demon in the blade was calling out to him so they could retrieve the uh fame component of the blade.
yeah.
Because the demon gets eaten by the other demon blade, which they can do that, but like
Yeah.
whatever. I was like,
I was getting a little
oh, right.
twisted.
That was a general question I was going to ask. What happens to a sword if you just submerge it in oil? It's not good for it, right?
That depends on what kind of metal it's made out of.
Okay, so probably the unobtainium of before it
Okay,
kills
so
stuff.
listen, if we're talking like steel, right? Steel is especially if it's stainless steel and it's really stainless steel and it's not like, that shit that they try to sell you for Christmas knives and stuff or something like that. Um Generally, it maintains its integrity pretty well, but there is a process of maintaining blades that does involve
Because
that.
it also depends on the oil.
Exactly. That's like
Which
when it comes to like blade oil, there is a very specific chemical
so like
component you have to use.
sacramented oil is a no-go because I know the sacrament just means it's got a bunch of herbs in it.
Yeah. So like generally for maintenance of bladed weapons, you do use like a blade oil pretty consistently. And the recommendation is like once a week you need to oil it up pretty well. A lot of people don't do that,
Right.
especially if they're in the
But
field,
like
but like
think about this. These Black Crusaders literally just put this thing into olive oil blessed by the Pope.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. They would know. I think more than any of the other
I'm
chapters of
sure they do,
Astartes,
but
they
like
would
it's
know.
also just like whatever.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
whatever. Nothing the issue I don't know. Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
I
Nothing
agree. I
happens
agree.
to them.
Listen, I'm not bemusing.
And
I
it
just like
peeves me off when it's just like having characters in books that can just walk around and be completely unscathed. I mean, Kesh has a reason, so like whatever, but she loses stuff. She loses her boyfriend and her dad. She does. What do you want me to say?
you say boyfriend, I think like acquaintance that had the potential to be boyfriend.
Look, all right. Just like Narwa died a joy girl, Kesh can have a boyfriend that
I
died.
said to shut your dirty whore mouth.
Anyways, but like everybody on the bad person side gets whatever they want.
Yeah.
Even though Larrock's like, "Give me the power," and he's like, "I don't want the power," which is so lame. Like, embrace it or just hurry up and
Yeah.
Become a chaos spawn. Nobody cares about you.
I mean, it's gonna go down that road anyway. The machine's gonna take over and become a demon, so
I
we'll
just wish.
wait, we already know what's
Look,
gonna happen.
my idea of it being a Nurgle Knight and him just becoming juice was way better than what we got.
This has happened before in a Horus Heresy novel, which
Oh,
is
really?
why I just, like, I know what happened. I called it. This shit's not impressive. Have better prose, please.
Just stop doing parts and not having actual time
And
skips.
there are other authors that do that too, but, like, they don't waste 6 pages, you know?
I mean, the pause has to be for a shift.
A nebulous amount of time needs to
Or like
transpire.
I don't even care about the time necessarily, but it has to be for the delineation of the other part of this novel feels different.
Mhm.
There's a division in Dracula
Yeah,
for a reason.
right.
There's a division in this book.
Listen,
Yeah, yeah.
we does not understand prose. I have explained this.
And
It
uh,
was a failure of writing. This novel had the potential
this is
to be better, and
I think the problem is that like almost every other of these books, I'm like, I mean the prose is fine, the writing is whatever. It's just like the plot. This is the first time where it's just like this. Like I don't want to say it's not well written. Like there's not spelling mistakes. There's not grammar mistakes.
mm,
It's just the technical way in which it was put together is not good. I think that's what bugged me so much. It's just like this is not what you use this for
yeah.
in a literary sense. Like there's no reason for this to be here. So you're wasting my time.
And you know, we don't like getting our time wasted. It's bad enough we don't have a whole lot of it to begin with.
Mm.
So yeah, maybe the next one will be better. Let's find out. Which what is the next one
It's
up?
called The Martyr's Tomb.
The Martyrs Tomb.
Tennessee Plague Marines. And
I know this one. Yeah,
what's his name? The funny one that became a Black Templar.
he has a
Starts
complicated.
it reminds me of the Inquisitorial dude.
Yeah, I know his name. I just can't remember it.
And I guess
Poem or no, something like that.
no, that's his Toby.
Okay, so who's the writer for this upcoming one?
Collins.
Oh,
Mark Collins.
Mark Collins. So it's Martyr's Tomb, Mark Collins. We are going to be reviewing that next time. If you're still with us, thanks for sticking around. Otherwise, Chamlin, do you have any final notes before we wrap this episode up? He's indicating that he wishes to have a moment.
Part 7, no.
Okay. All right. So I have been Decurio Omhar with Decurio Chamlin, national treasure that he is. And we'll see you all in the next one. Bye.